Welcome back, Juventinita, to the Juventinita Back to Black and White podcast. My name's Daniel Negro, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Now we're on episode 35. I know it's we're getting there. Hopefully, we can get to 50 by the time we get to the start of the season. Goals, we'll see. We'll see if we can make it happen. It'll be close. There's a lot of guests lined up, and this next one obviously won't be unfamiliar to all of you, I'm sure, on Twitter. And he was a guest on the show. Again, the number doesn't come to my head right now, but he was a guest on the show earlier. So check that one out, guys. Always check out the past episodes because they're just standalone without the game previews or pre-matches. Pretty much the stories can be listened at any time. So hopefully I can cut those one of these days and make it easier for you guys to have access. And again, like the usual boring stuff, guys, please drop a 5-star if you could on iTunes and Spotify. That really helps me kind of move me up the ladder on the podcasts that are in sports, as well as the newer podcasts, and being able to attract new guests and new fans. So again, that helps me a lot. Again, on YouTube, pretty easy. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you're going to be getting all the episodes as soon as possible. So again, that's going to help me out. Drop a comment. Let's be active. I don't think I've not replied to one of the comments so far, either on Twitter or on YouTube or any of the platforms. So yeah, guys, leave a comment. Let's discuss some of the things you don't like, and I'm sure after this podcast, there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to want to comment on. Because it's going to be kind of a social media take. I kind of wanted to wrap up, my feelings on a couple things that have happened so far, some of the battles that have gone back and forth, as well as, some other things that I thought have been really funny, and some things that I've, some horrible takes, some expert trolls that have literally brought fans to their knees over certain issues. I won't spoil too much, but without further ado, Anto, welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on. It's always a blast chatting with you on Twitter, and it's good to be on again.
So literally, just to let everyone know, if they don't know, your handle is at Johnny, whatever numbers on the end, lots of numbers. So just so you don't know, this is who's on the show, by the way. Again, I gotta respect your privacy. So with the non video, that's cool. Again, I think there's gonna be some other guests. Some not only just not to show their face or whatever, but some more or less don't want to come because they're shy or whatnot, and that's okay, guys. I don't want to discourage you guys not to come on because you think that you need to do the video or whatever the case may be. I just want to interact, obviously, with yourself and, be able to bring different points of view, different opinions. So again, we'll make it work if you want to come on and voice your opinion. So don't worry about that, guys. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get 2 guests that were supposed to be on this episode with Anto, and that unfortunately is at Napoleonismo. I'm guessing all of you guys know who this guy is, but
man himself.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I understand he's a big supporter of the show, and I thank him for that. Keep listening, man. Keep contributing. But we'll get into some of the things that have happened on social media with him and with others. And then obviously at Gani, I think it's 007 or 006.
Black and white.
Yeah, Black and White. He's obviously on vacation, and hopefully we'll have him on in the future when he gets back to reality, the lucky bastard. So
definitely.
So let's get on. So what do you want to do, Anto? Do you want to go news first, or do you want to go the juicy social media topics that we have to discuss today?
How about we start with the news and we'll build up into that.
Okay, we'll get rid of the boring stuff right away. So guys, there's been plenty of news that I got to catch up on. In terms of the staff being set, that was obviously an interesting selection with Pirlo being chosen as coach. What are your thoughts on Pirlo? What have your thoughts been on Pirlo and Igor Tudor being the, I believe it's the assistant? as
Mhm.
well as Baronio being in there. What are your thoughts on those selections, Anto?
Well, I mean, utter shock and surprise when
Yeah,
Pirlo
tell me
was
about
first appointed. I was actually taking a shower, and like my dad started screaming at me that Pirlo's the coach, and like he started screaming my name, and like I dropped the bar of soap, and it scared the shit out of me. And I was like, "What the hell is going on?" But
Oh,
no,
good thing you dropped it in your home, right?
yeah, my own, yeah, I kind of set myself up for that one, yeah. But yeah, just utter shock. Like Pirlo was appointed to the under 23, like what was it, 2 or 3 days before? And my dad actually said he's like, "Oh, Pirlo's going to be the Juventus coach in like a year or two," and I didn't believe him. I was like, I think maybe he might be like a Zidane, and like in a couple years he'll work his way up, or like a Pep Guardiola kind of situation. But it's kind of came out of nowhere. It really shocked me and super surprised. But overall, I think it's nice to see something break away from the chain of normal. Agnelli's kind of become predictable, and
True.
Paratici and Nedved, they've all kind of become stalemen. I think everybody knows their market strategy and just in general. So I think Pirlo really shocked everybody in Italy, and it's a courageous selection that could go really well or horrible, horrible. So we'll
What
see.
I think there's a lot of people like trying to, you know, downplay the fact that he hadn't played a game. Like Zidane was with the
Yeah.
Castilla, and then obviously he was an assistant. Pep, I
Mhm.
believe, was in what do they call it there in Barcelona? Anyways, their youth academy, and then obviously
Yeah.
the coach of Barcelona. So
Mhm.
it's gonna be difficult. I still don't know what my expectations are for the season. What are you expecting out of it? I think we kind of hope that we can get to 10th. That's kind of my thought. See how it goes. I'm not expecting a treble or anything like that. I think it's gonna be. I would be shocked if we started really well as well. Like in the obviously the schedules come out, guys. So check that out. We'll talk about that a little bit, especially a marquee game towards the end of the season. But to me, I think the beginning is going to be a little bit of a struggle for us. I don't know if that's just being my pessimistic old self
Mhm.
or just being realistic with all the changes and having a guy that was very experienced as a player, but it's completely different on the sideline, right?
No, yeah, I think that's exactly it. People are kind of dismissing he's never been a manager before. He like doesn't even have like his like European coaching license, I think, right? He's getting that in September, if I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
exactly,
I saw that
exactly.
extremely inexperienced, and I think that a squad last season, which really struggled with an identity crisis in the sense that they were used to playing Allegri ball, and then Sarri comes in with this radical, attacking Serismo, and the players are kind of stuck between they don't really know what to do because they're stuck in their old habits and they're trying to adapt. And they gave Sarri one season, and he wasn't able to accomplish it. So I think Pirlo, he's never been a manager, so Pirlo doesn't have a style of football to teach. So I don't know what we're going to see. I don't know what to expect out of him. I don't know if they're still going to be stuck in this trance of Allegri's defensiveness and Sarri's more attacking. So I don't know what we're
Well,
going to see.
especially with the transfers we're looking at,
Mhm.
Suarez is big in the news right now, and we'll get
Yeah,
that in a little bit. But like I said, it's tough because me and Louis did a culture mercato, and it
yeah,
really is tough because when we listen to what he says, right? You listen to that first press conference.
hmm,
He's saying a lot of the things that you want to hear, but
yeah,
it's you want to hear those things. It's not necessarily that he's you know saying anything that you wouldn't necessarily hear a coach say or that should be saying because he knows what situation we were in. He knows that the way we were playing, obviously, and
yeah,
that we were, not necessarily respecting the coach, if you want to say it like that. So it's kind of, I'm not sure. I mean, sure, it was a great press conference, but to say
yeah.
it was anything that I didn't expect, not really. I mean, pretty straightforward in my opinion.
Pirlo's a really elegant man. I don't know, like for the
Right.
people, I'm not sure how many people on this channel like understand Italian and speak Italian, but just the way he speaks is very elegant and like more of what's in line with when you think of a Juventus coach. Like Sarri's more of
Right.
like a, you know, like a normal guy in the streets, right? Pirlo's like a very, very technical the way he speaks, very proper and fluent Italian. So just like that alone kind of sets like elegance and prestige in it, which kind of sets up with what you want to hear. Obviously, he's not going to be on the touchline wearing like a tracksuit chewing on a cigarette. He's going to have like his luscious hair flowing in the wind with like a crisp like Armani suit with a nice tie and a white shirt, right? So obviously that's what you want to see, and the way he talks too is very nice. But again, it's all talk, and we'll see.
Well, exactly. That's just what it is, really. You said it perfectly, and I found it interesting. Around the time of the Champions League final, when Bayern wins it, and everyone was kind of going off about Coman, right? He played
Yeah,
a pretty big part in that final, and
he did.
even Del Piero made a pretty interesting comment on Sky Sport, and he says that it must make us reflect on the fact that some of our scraps go to swell the ranks of a European champion team. We have to get to the Champions League with different mentality. Here we start the season already with doubts about coaches, players, and clubs. We have to review many things here in Italy, and I think it's pretty telling because we really, for the past couple weeks, it's been it was great how it started with getting rid of Matuidi,
Yeah,
but it just seems like we're having again the same difficulties of
yeah,
shedding our players and actually making money out. Now, I'm not surprised that we're not making money on them because that's Juve.
like garbage.
I kind of know how we are,
Yeah,
and I'm not surprised with that at all. If anyone's surprised about how Juve um, thinks that we can, let's say, spend or pick the right players or sell for the right price, it's
yeah,
never happened. So that's why when everyone was saying all these names
yeah,
to sign, I don't really take it in. Now, one thing's because of the journalists that are saying it, but another thing is that you just got to look at it with an open mind, and two, with the facts.
hmm,
And some of the financial stuff that's been released so far is really proving the point that I'm making. Whether it was COVID or not, I still think we were going to be in a loss.
yeah.
I think COVID forced us to do the Artur Pjanic deal and get that big swoop of 180 million euros or whatever it was, just to even kind of make it a decent number of what it is now.
Yeah,
And
got a pretty big plus
oh,
for
we still have a huge deficit. I mean,
I saw it today. Yeah,
yeah, 69 million is no. Now we'll see what the exact. I mean, I'm not sure what Exor has to report exactly.
yeah,
I'm not like a financial planner or anything like that, guys. I like business. I like finances. I like stocks.
hmm,
So I have some knowledge, but um, from what I know, that's what was reported. I'm gonna wait till October or I'm gonna say give or take a month to 3 months where we'll see Juve's full year, which we'll definitely have an episode completely on that, guys. So stay tuned to that one. But yeah, man, I'm not surprised. Now I'm gonna give you three names. I
okay,
want you to tell me what you think of them and who do you think's more likely to come. And yeah, just your thoughts on who's
sure.
better. So Locatelli, Partey, and DePaul.
Oh well, they're they're three very different profiles in my opinion.
Right.
So I think it's going to be kind of tricky to narrow down one. I guess I'll start with Locatelli first, and Locatelli is more of like the proper regista, which we've kind of been missing for a while.
Right.
But as we've heard, like Pirlo likes Artur there, so maybe that's not where the direction we should be going in.
Right.
I don't know. If you want to know lots about Locatelli, you guys should check out Jake Vinciguerra. I'm not sure if you know him, but I'm sure lots of people listening know Jake. But he's the biggest Locatelli fan I have ever seen in my entire life, and he knows a lot about him. He thinks he's a really great player, so I trusted judgment because he's a Sassuolo supporter as well. So he's told me great things about him, and yeah, I think he's a solid player. But I think definitely he should stay at Sassuolo for another season before Juve contemplate spending especially 40 million euros on him. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
And,
that's definitely. I had him on the Sassuolo post game actually, and
okay.
that's exactly what he said. you gotta give the guy some breathing room. You got to make sure that he can contribute the same way in a second season in a row. And essentially, Jake, if you want that Zaza jersey, just let me know, man. Like we can work. We'll make a deal. It's signed Zaza jersey, Sassuolo, Sportica. It's beautiful. We'll make it happen. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know Jake is he's the man when it comes to Sassuolo, and
Great guy.
definitely check out his account, guys. Definitely, if you need to hear about the Nero Verdi. So
Yeah.
and they have some nice jerseys this year. I'm not gonna lie, with that 100-year anniversary logo. So
They're nice. They're nice.
check that out. But
Sorry, yeah, moving on. I guess we'll go back
anyways, to the next one.
Yeah, so I guess we can start with DePaul. I've never really been a big DePaul fan. I don't know. I think he's definitely single-handedly helped Udinese at least stay 5 slots higher in the table alone. He's definitely been a consistent. I've actually been quite surprised how they've been able to retain him and the lack of interest, especially from the Premier League in him.
Yeah,
so I think he would be crazy. Pretty good in our squad. Obviously, more of an attacking midfield, if I am correct in that sense. So I'm not really sure how he would fit in with the way Pirlo's going to line up. So I guess it all depends on how Pirlo's going to line up. But he's a good player, not a great player, and not the player I would spend 40, 50 million on, especially with our lack of finances. But that's just my take on it.
Well, you got to remember though, the Premier League teams seem to be taking these guys for nothing, because Alan at 25 million, I believe DePaul was rumored at 35.
Is it 35?
Yeah, it's definitely below what we were looking at. So I mean
40, 50, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it's just the fact that they don't want to sell to another Italian club, which, I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter. If you're going to get rid of the guy, try and get his, like, if you want 35, I don't know why Juve wouldn't have gone to 40 if that was the number. If you're seeing him at 35, you can get him 37 and a half, whatever the case may be. But I don't see whether they sell them to us or not. I think the fact that it's going to strengthen us anyways will strengthen in another way. We're still the way better team. So it's. I mean, if it's a Napoli or like, I know Louis was talking on the last episode about Di Lorenzo, and I just don't think that's ever going to happen because of just the rivalry. And I mean, he's a great left back, but I just don't ever see it happening. The negotiations would be astronomical, but who knows? I mean, Napoli giving away Alan for 25 million, and then who else were they giving away? Milik, I believe it was, for like
Bali to City. Napoli's gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't really know what's up with that club. There's a lot of talk about, there's two certain fans that are saying they're okay, but it doesn't necessarily seem that way if they're having to sell.
Well, who's that guy from Lille? Or I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but didn't they spend like 60, 70 million on a striker?
Yeah, fuck, I forget the name's not coming to me now, but I know who you're talking about.
His debut.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, that was a big investment. That was a big investment for someone who's not proven. Okay, but let's get to obviously the last one, Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid. I've thought he's a great player, but I don't know if necessarily the financials work on that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Atletico planning on signing him, or does he have a release clause? Sorry.
No, it would definitely. I think from what we were looking at, it would be a swap. But Well, we were trying to throw DC and Bernardeschi, or I believe it was Ramsey and Bernardeschi to try, and then some cash on the side for. I think he's probably around 60, 70, 80 million, somewhere around there. But yeah, it's just, like I said, it's a tough deal, especially when you have players that devalue themselves every year. And this is one of the massive problems I have with Juve is everyone keeps thinking it's okay that we're walking through these seasons, but the stats don't lie. 10 goals in 3 years is nothing. We devalue like our players get devalued. I mean, they do it on their own because they're not performing, but that matter of fact is heavy,
Yeah.
especially in times like this. So we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen. It looks like we can't sell to save our lives
Yeah.
again. But who out of those three would you sign if you had a choice? If you could only pick one.
If I could only pick one, I'd probably go with Locatelli. I think maybe because of my Italian bias, but just I think he's the player most suited for what Pirlo wants to play. And I think Artur is a very versatile midfielder. I really, really, really love that signing. Since you last had me on the show, I said I didn't really know much about him, but I've watched a lot of highlight videos and a lot of just people from Bars who follow Barcelona and Brazil more than I, and I've just kind of learned more about him. I'm really excited about him, so I think you could probably push him on either the right or left flank there, and I think Locatelli could step in the middle and be really good, but just not this season. So I think a signing for the future, so maybe could start next year for us, kind of thing.
So did you learn him about? Did you learn? You said you talked to like Barcelona fans. So did you learn about him before or after ripping them about Messi?
Oh man, no, before. I don't know. They were still
What a
kind of
club!
involved.
What a club!
Honestly, that club is falling apart. Who is it now? Rakitic, who went to Sevilla, I think, right? He left too.
For nothing, I think. I think it was like
Yeah,
a million or something.
my friend who's a PSG fan, he sent me this like meme from Instagram. It was like 2 years ago, PSG offered 80 million euros for Rakitic. Now this year he goes to Sevilla for like 4 million plus bonus.
You know what you know what the sad part about that is? If you look at a lot of the deals that we could have signed like 2-3 years ago,
Honestly,
oh shit, it makes you think. Like
yeah,
sometimes you can't. It's like a stock, like you want to get greedy, or you think it's better to hold a little bit longer,
yeah,
and then the script gets flipped and you're in the
hmm
red when you could have made 2, 3, 4 times what you thought you would have had it at. So sometimes sometimes you gotta fold them. You gotta know when to hold them, and you gotta know when to fold them,
yeah,
as they say.
hmm
So at the end of the day, that's is in a little bit of a shit streak with that. So sorry, I forgot to ask though. Did you think that Coleman was a good, like, getting rid of Coleman because there's been a lot of talk, with Keane, with Coleman, with a lot of players that we've sold off at certain times,
hmm
and then obviously you see Coleman going and winning the Champions League final. What were your thoughts on that, bud?
I think who was it? Was it Lippi or I'm not sure who. There was a former coach who commented, or Capello, sorry, who commented
Yeah, it wouldn't
on
have
the
been
play.
Lip.
No, yeah, no, sorry, I messed up that. No, but I think it was Capello, if I
You're
remember
100.
correctly.
Yeah.
But he said exactly what I think, and my grandfather, who I'm really close with and watch like football with and everything, who like we pretty much share the same brain in regards to that. But he said exactly what we said. Juventus gives up on young players. They new transfer strategy and philosophy, I guess, is to buy experienced player because they're in a win now mode,
Right.
especially heightened by the purchase of Cristiano. And I think just they want experienced players instead of someone who is maybe on the bubble of being a good player or great player, whatever you want to call it, and they don't have the time or patience to wait. So I think it's kind of sad because
Yeah.
if you look at other clubs, there's at least like especially Ajax and just what they do is amazing, but with their like youth squad and how they can bring players up, right?
Right.
It's just insane. I can't even name 3 players from Juventus's youth squad who have made the first team in the past 15 years, maybe. I don't know. Obviously, you have Javinko, you have Marquisio, but other than that, who else can you really name who ever started for the first team in a real meaningful way and not like a Muratore or whatever who just plays before they get sold, but someone who actually contributed to the first team, right?
Yeah, like you put it perfectly. We're not great with youth players. I mean, I don't know necessarily when, like, I think the money we got from that was all right. I
40 million?
think, yeah, I think it was enough. I think the guy was very, very injury prone. And I think
Mm-hmm.
when that conversation was had on Insta or Twitter, excuse me, that wasn't really taken into account. He was a very injury prone player with us, and
Yeah.
it wasn't working. And sometimes, like I said, you're gonna get into those situations where, and again, it comes back to the previous thing that I just said with when you got to know when to hold them and fold them. like, sure, you might have cashed out, let's say a stock or whatever, or a hand, and sure, hey, you might have had a better hand, or your stock
Yeah.
might have actually still continued to gone up, but you still profited. You still taking that
Yeah.
money, and then you can do whatever you want. That's better than the opposite of losing, and that's what we're in a situation now where we got a lot of these guys that we had the opportunity to move them, we
Mhm.
didn't, and now it's flipped the script, and they're not worth anything, and it's so difficult to sign them or to
Yeah.
sell them, excuse me. So
And
what's
no,
going to be
sorry, I just want to chime in on that. I don't think people realize how bad of a business the move for Higuain was. Like, this is a guy we spent, what was it, 90 million euros from
right?
Napoli for really 2 seasons he
89 or
started.
yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
2 seasons he started. Obviously, the first season was really well. After that, he scored like 16 goals or so the second season. But like, it's just horrible. And like, people are talking about getting rid of Higuain, and I'm not trying to defend that, but we're cutting bait with a for free after 4 years, really, of a player that cost 90 million and started for us for two. It just one of the worst pieces of business from management I've seen in such a long time. Just I'm so disappointed with everything of the Higuain. It's just a horrible, horrible transfer.
So on that notion, I disagree a little bit because with Higuain, we look at him as, a guy who's been able to put up numbers, whether
Hmm.
you like him or not. 89 million, that's going to get amortized over whatever his contract length
Yeah.
is. So it's probably going to work out to what, 20 million? What was it, a 4-year deal, something like that?
4 or 5, I'm not sure. I don't know. Someone tell me four,
So
but
so right. So you're looking at about 20-ish million per season,
mm,
plus 7.5 million on his contract. So really,
yeah.
he's costing you about 27.5 million a year.
Hmm.
To be honest, that's not a whole. I mean, the last year wasn't great. I mean, like the this COVID year.
Yeah.
So the year before, again, you could say same thing, but I thought he did his duty that year with Allegri. Um,
Wasn't
I
he
mean,
loaned out though to Milan that season? And
yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. Sorry, he had a shitty year. He did have a really shitty year in one, and this year, I mean, with the thing with his mom, I'm not surprised.
mm,
He's really been going through it. So and I mean, the whole world has been going through it. There's guys in all sports that are saying, you know what, I'm really happy, but I'm trying to find this, like how much we have left on him, and I don't think it's a lot, man. So to me, it comes down to that, where
yeah.
you look at how much is he really costing you. Now the contract is high. I
Uh,
will agree with that. Sure, could we have sold him a couple years ago? Yes.
mhm.
I mean, we loaned him, like when we loaned him out, it didn't really seem like it worked. There wasn't really a lot of push there, and that's why we had to loan him out.
Yeah. Nobody really wanted him, I don't think.
So maybe you go the year before that, but what happened the year before that, right? Like
Hmm.
17, 18, was that not the year we went to or the year we lost barely to Real Madrid, excuse me? Not
Yeah.
the
When,
the
I
final
mean,
was the year before that,
when
but
we got cheated out with the non-existent Benatia penalty, yeah. I
well,
remember.
exactly. That's what I mean. Like that was the case. Like we can't say that, like if we tie the game and we
Hmm.
go into extra time, heck, who knows? Maybe we go on to win the tournament, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
really, it wasn't. I think it's tough in that situation. I don't think you really judge that one. I look at other moves like, these extensions, and
Kadira extension with Rays, yeah.
that really kills us. Bringing in Rabiot and Ramsey at those fees kills
Rent
us.
ridiculous fee. Oh my God, his weekly salary. It just, if you're a
It's
socialist listening to this and you want to complain about capitalism, take a look at the over 320,000 pounds he makes a week.
Here we go. I got it. I found it. So Higuain is about. He only has about 18 million left
Oh, it's on his
amortized. So
yeah.
really, even if you sold them for like 20, I don't think you're gonna get 20. But even
Oh,
if you sold them for 10, 5, I mean, you're not losing a massive amount. And I'm sure,
yeah.
like, look, Romero's getting loaned out as we speak.
Yeah, another disappointment for me, but yeah.
Like, what does this team want to do? Like, we really got to start decide. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And some people are like, well, he's not good enough, or he's not good enough to take Rugani's spot. I got to
Yes,
disagree with that.
yes, he
I
is.
mean, like, what we're getting from Rugani is essentially nothing. Everyone says he's garbage, so we got to get rid of the guy. That's
The
fine.
Premier paid
But
20 million for him, I guarantee you.
to keep going with, we're okay, we're gonna loan him out to Atalanta now. Like, to
Yeah.
me, that's the wrong move.
Hmm.
And it just gets infuriating because like we keep doing this, and like I'm not gonna be surprised when Pellegrini it gets stepped is the next one to go. I'm really not. And
No,
then we
that's
just keep going through the same shit.
hmm
The writing's already been on the wall on social media with we have five fullbacks, so
Yeah.
we're good. So I don't know, man. Like I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle. I don't think Pirlo's going to be able to handle going through going through a season with Cuadrado at right back. And I know we've been talking about this 3-5-2 and stuff, but or 3-4-3. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
Delict is not ready yet.
No.
So, and it's
No.
going to take it's probably going to take a month probably to get back into, match fitness. So, okay, if they say October, I'd say it's more like beginning of December he's going to be ready to go. Like
Yeah.
be really playing in match shape. So,
Mm.
we'll see what happens. Obviously Buffon's going to have his 19th season at Juventus. Crazy
Yeah.
that it's going to be, well, I mean, if he would have stayed, which I think he should have stayed, would have been at 20 seasons, and
Yeah.
that would have been incredible. Obviously, again, another guy, Rolando Mandragora. You
Rolly,
know,
yeah.
we're not going to be buying him back for that 26 million. So obviously,
Oh,
haven't found a buyer that's going to make us the plus Valenza. So that's what's happening on that one. They've postponed the option to buy till next from
yeah.
August to
Next
June.
year, yeah.
So, I mean, he's injured. Well, they said because he's injured until December.
Mm.
I just think we haven't found anyone to buy, so they're like, yeah, no, it's not happening.
Probably.
Um, you look at a lot of conversations that went on with Lichtsteiner, and then obviously Pirlo had his comments, but
Hmm.
um, I like to hear that Dybala was not on the market. That's something that I took away from that,
Yeah.
and then he said that they should play together in any team. He also said as long as there's sacrifice on the part of
Hmm.
everyone, and that's where I'm like, I don't know about that because I haven't seen Ronaldo sacrifice
Yeah.
shit for the past two
You
seasons.
know my thinking about Dybala, how much I love him and how much Ronaldo gets away with. But
Well, it's
yeah,
literally like he could commit mass murder, and the guy and his fans would still be like, "Well, he had to. It was for it was for climate." They would come up with some bullshit. We needed to cut the population down, so it's okay that Ronaldo killed everybody. It's like
oh,
literally the shit you hear is stupidity, and I'm sure we'll get into that once we talk about social media. I believe the Champions League's the draw is gonna be on the October 1st, so it's gonna be a little
yeah,
bit different because usually we see it in I believe it's end of August,
yeah,
and yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I think Italy's still in the third spot,
hmm
or sorry, we jumped Germany to the third spot,
yeah,
and
yeah. That a couple of weeks ago, yeah.
which is interesting because with the fact that
Even
they have
above
a
us.
team that's won the tournament. I don't know these coefficients. Sometimes you wonder what the
I don't know
fuck
how
is up
they
with this.
calculate that stuff.
It's like the past, like they calculate like they do it with the past 5 years on a percentage score. So your fifth
Yeah,
year is worth the least, and your last year or like the previous season is worth the most. And so it's a five number combination, and then they take the average on that, I believe, or they add them up, and then that's your score um, combined for that. UEFA is also trying to get spectators. I really hope we can get fans back into the stadium. Um,
yeah,
I really want to go back, to be honest. That's one of the things I've been saying the past few weeks and talking to different fans. But, you know, what can we do? The numbers seem to kind of still be in flux. I think you just gotta go. You gotta rip the Band-Aid off at some point. It's getting to the point where I've heard talks even in the NHL where if they can't get fans back next season, the league is going to be in trouble. So I could imagine.
A lot of money being lost. I don't think people understand how much money supporters and fans and ticket sales and merchandise from inside the stadium and all that make for a
Yeah,
club, team in
exactly,
North America, anywhere. They're
exactly.
bleeding dry everywhere, every sports team, because that is probably one of the number one biggest ways these teams are making money. And it's really nice when your team can spend 100 million for Pogba, but the same fans that are crying that we're not buying a Pogba are the same ones who are crying about, I don't want to get into COVID and whatever, but the ones that should say, oh, we should cancel the league, we should do this and do that. But just ironic how it's the same group of people.
Well, it's too difficult. It really is too difficult to cancel. If you cancel everything, a lot of people are going to be out of jobs. And then we're going to start talking about if things will ever really go back again.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, leagues are going to go bankrupt. Like I said, the NHL is not a league that
No, they're one of the smaller ones.
is
So.
is a league that, well, I mean, but there's still a lot of money. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not talking, a few millions here and there. I mean, they compare to some of the big leagues, maybe not NFL, but
Yeah,
they're definitely up there. And if they're talking about, having to bring back at least 50% of the fans,
yeah.
for X amount of games, then okay, that I think everyone else has to start, thinking about that.
Well, I think
Um,
they were one of the first teams I think I saw. They submitted something to the city of Torino of what is it, 20% capacity they're trying to get back for next season. I think I saw something like that on a round turn.
yeah, I hope that's the case. I don't think I've read anything like that, but if that is true,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember reading that yesterday.
yeah, then I would love to see that.
Mm. I think it can be done.
Socios thinks they're gonna have access to those, but we know what that means, everybody.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I think we got to get fans back.
Hmm.
Mentally, it's gonna help everybody.
And I love the crowd noise. It just, you don't really realize what you're missing until you miss it, right? And I
Yeah,
think,
I really don't need to hear players screaming and coaches screaming. I really could give a shit, to be
yeah.
honest.
Did you hear what Lukaku? Oh my God, that was so funny. Did you hear him screaming?
Yeah, it's like
Victor
I
fucking hell, man. It was so funny.
so it's funny, like once you hear it, like especially with certain players and whatnot. But to me, it's like after a while, it's just like whatever. When I don't know if you saw the tweet, but it actually it banged on my pretty hard on my personal account.
Okay.
Um, and it was just a clip, I believe, of Pogba or Vidal goal, I think. And it was assisted by Pogba, a great ball that he put through. And literally, you can hear like the sound of the stadium in
Yeah.
the background.
Yeah.
And it's literally night and day, guys. Like, I kid you not, listening to some games last season or
Yeah.
in the first half of the season was like a theater, like a library, excuse me.
It's just not the same
Shame.
atmosphere. Football is such a sport where it's like so passionate, and that's why it's obviously my favorite sport because the supporters and the fans, it's like it's a way of life, right? And hearing them screaming and stuff, and it's an experience to watch versus a cold and empty stadium. It's like if I have to get up to pee, I don't mind missing 2 minutes versus last year and the year before. It's like if I gotta pee, I'm peeing my pants. I'm not gonna miss a single minute. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Away from it. And this season, especially the end for me, I was kind of hoping it would be over with, especially the way we were playing. But
oh, that definitely. It's like then you're just like phone watching and you're like,
yeah,
oh, okay.
I did a lot of that scrolling on Twitter while watching, and I don't like doing that. So
No, because I mean, you want to watch the game, right? And you get to the
yeah,
point where, what's the point? You know, it's getting to a point where you're like, these guys aren't doing anything. There's no heart. There's no nothing. There's no
that's another
substance.
separate topic in itself. But yeah, there was no heart or anything.
No, there was no heart, soul, anything in some of these games, and you're just like, okay, well, let's see. let's see if you what some dumb takes on Twitter, and that's I think
Yeah.
why a lot of action's been happening on Twitter and social media because uh, the product on the pitch is
Horrible.
is not to the same level.
Yeah.
Let's get into kits now. Obviously, the
Yes.
third jersey just came out. I got the Ultra Boost. I'm going to be showing those off in a video in the
Easy.
new series that I have a little bit later. But what do you think about these kits?
Yeah.
What do you think about the brand? What do you think about all that? What's your thoughts on it? I know there's been a lot of different opinions, but to me, the home one I think is grown. I'm
Mhm.
gonna get all three anyways, like I've said multiple times. But what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on these kits that we've just released all three?
So if you've followed me for long enough, I'm sure you know that I buy all three kits for the past couple of years. But before that, kind of a kit a year. I've always loved kits and just kind of grown. But yeah, in regards to the home one, I already bought it. I have it sitting right in front of me, actually on my wall on a hanger. I got Dybala, of course, you know my boy, and I don't know. I like it. It looks really nice in person. I think the gold looks really nice, and I think the reactions were overblown. I don't understand why people are so reactionary with everything, and I think people are always looking for a reason to criticize and hate. And I don't know. I think it's sad because I think if you actually buy it and have it in front of you, like it's obviously not a 10 out of 10, but it's, I give it like an 8. I really like the home kit. I think it looks really nice. Just I think the back's a little plain, but that's my problem with all kits nowadays.
Yeah, I honestly I think it would have been perfect if it was gold with a black outline. I'm gonna keep saying it. If the numbers were gold with a black outline, it would have banged
I don't like the black numbers on the back. You're right. I don't like that
to
part.
almost like a 9. I would have almost brought it up from like a 7
Yeah.
to like a 9, 9.5 if they did gold with black outline.
Yeah. I agree.
I just think the black numbers are. I see what they tried to do.
Well, they didn't want visibility issues because I saw a
Well,
couple
that's another thing. I
running
mean,
left.
that's the main reason why they're black.
Yeah.
We've had problems in the past, whether it was red numbers, whether it was yellow numbers,
Oh, yellow.
whether it was kind of goldish numbers or neon, whatever the fuck they were called, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, they've had problems and they've been bitched up from the league and then had to change or whatever, had to do like a black box to fit the numbers in, whatever the case may be. So they don't like yellow, they don't like gold. We've been through it all from like 2000
Yeah. If
all
you
the way
fall
till now.
no, yeah.
So literally, that's why I think we've not gone back to colored numbers, just because they don't want to have to deal with the bullshit of having to like change everything out again. Because they tried to do it in 14, 15 with
Yeah.
yellow numbers, and then they said they're special edition, which means
We fucked up.
the league isn't allowing us to use them in
Yeah.
the season. So I got a Champions League jersey with Marquisio on it with yellow numbers
Beautiful.
on 14, 15. So I guess it's a special edition jersey.
Lucky you.
But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Second
think they're
kit I
fine.
like. I don't
Go
know. What
ahead,
do you
man.
think about the second kit? Yeah, no, I think it's
Second cuffs are horrible. That's all
you
I'm
don't
just gonna
like
say it.
really? I like the cuffs.
Oh, I think they're just stupid. I don't know what this like these lines. I don't know. It's a thick like sleeve cuff,
Yeah.
and it's got like this. I don't know,
Like the Euro
almost
kit.
almost like a Missoni pattern.
Yeah.
If you've seen that Adidas drop, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if yeah, I'm not a big fan. I like the rest of it. The
Yeah.
line does look kind of weird. It does look better in person.
It
I'll
does,
agree
yeah.
with that. But I mean, the rest of it didn't look horrible. Like it's not like something that tips the balance either way. It's just like it's okay. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a merda color like
Yeah.
like style of blue
Mm-hmm.
or like it's not. And
Nice
then
color.
you have the white accent. It's not bad. It's not bad.
I don't.
I'm not gonna really bitch about it to the high heavens because of
Yeah.
that. But like I said, they could have done a better cuff. That's my only criticism of it.
Yeah, like I don't have the second or away kit or the third kit in my house yet. Like I haven't actually bought them, so I can't really tell you in person detail what they
See
look
him
like.
soon.
Yes, soon. I'm trying to figure out still who I want to get with the numbers on the back. Yeah, but
Oh,
I don't
me
know. It's
That's
always better.
that's another story. But anyways,
If it's not my team last night, I'm trying to decide for my away right now if I want Artur or if I want Delict. I don't know who I should get.
I think for me it's gonna be Dybala on the home,
Beautiful.
Delict on the away,
That's what I was thinking too.
and the
Yeah.
third jersey I don't know who I'm going with yet. I want to see.
Artur.
I want to see when the numbers roll out
Yeah.
because I don't want to make that mistake of picking someone who's gonna be
Different number. Yeah.
who's gonna be. I might just do Alexandro just to scare Al because it's kind of like Halloween
Oh.
colors and he's still probably gonna be on the team. So.
Yeah. I was thinking of that too. The third, I should get Ronaldo because I hate him so
Well,
much, and
that's what
such an
I
it would be perfect.
that definitely came through my head too. That definitely came through my head. So
You want to talk about that third kit now? I try and see the best in every kit, as you kind of heard with my bias, but I don't know. Like I don't know about that kit. It's just so ugly, and I don't understand why we have so many historic colors we could use. Like obviously the green color. Remember in like
yeah.
15, 16 was it when we did the fan made version? It was pretty ugly, but I like the sentiment of the throwback of the green. Pink. I want a pink kit again, really bad. I don't know why we can't get a pink one. If for those that know, we wore pink before the black and white stripes, so I think it's always nice if we have a pink kit.
Wait a
But
minute. Which kit you said you didn't like? Which
remember,
green
like,
one?
remember it was like green and like it was the fan made by Adidas. It had like a black and like big white stripe and like a
Oh, I
black.
love that one.
Really?
Honestly, I love
I
that kit. Yeah, that
thought
was a fire kit.
What? I didn't. That was the only kit that year I didn't buy. I
That's like
couldn't.
that's a military. That's going to war. That's the one you wear when you're gonna fucking you gotta smash a team. When you gotta go on the road and you gotta put that jersey on and you
Oh
gotta
no.
put it all on the pitch. That's why I got Mandzukic on that jersey.
Oh wow. I
Um,
zero.
literally.
Kit.
No, I thought you were talking about like the lime green one that they had that Nike had all those years ago.
Oh no, 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 not that one.
No, actually, I didn't mind it. I honestly, I thought it was an okay. I thought it was when they said fan made. I was like, oh, here we go. This is
Yeah.
watch what they're gonna do now. And then I saw them release it, and it was kind of something that was like generic almost.
Hmm.
Like it wasn't too bad. I'm like, oh, it's not bad. This kind of bangs a little bit. Okay, let's see. I got it in person. I'm like, I like it, but they're doing the authentics for all three now, so
Yeah.
you can get
Do you buy the authentic or the fan version?
guys. Addiction is strong with this one here, but yeah, no, I'm gonna get all three authentics. I got to. I like
What?
it. I
Whoa,
like,
what?
bro. I got a job now, so we're good to go.
That's true. That's true. Maybe in a couple of years when I graduate from university, I'll make the step up from my replicas or the fan version or whatever to the authentics.
Yeah,
I don't like to call them
if you would have
replicas.
asked
It pisses me off.
if you would have asked me like 4, 5, 6 months ago, then I would have been like, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wait like 5, 6 months to buy those kits. But no,
Yeah.
now we're doing the podcast, we're doing content on it. And yeah, I got a job now, so we're good to go.
Yeah,
Um,
bro.
but yeah, we'll see what
I want
happens.
to
I think it's gonna
do
be.
like show off my collection or something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know if you should do something like that maybe on your video portion of like channel. I don't know, maybe you could have like fans show off their kit collection. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we're gonna have a guy from a guy from Singapore show off his Juve museum, which has a
Oh,
ton
nice.
of kits.
That's awesome.
It's unbelievable what they're doing in Singapore. I've said this. I've had Farah on the podcast to talk about our friendship and obviously the
Mhm.
time we met and stuff like that. So, but Iskander from Singapore, unbelievable job.
Yeah.
How all these fans
Shame.
are bringing their jerseys in and like displaying them for everyone to see is beyond me because I would just be like, I would be like grabbing it with two hands and I don't know if I'd be able to let go of any of my jerseys.
Yeah, for
But
sure. I keep mine in like my closet. I don't even want them like on the wall so they don't get like tainted from the sun or whatever.
bro, they're all fake. My jerseys are all fake apparently. So
Oh yeah, true. Hey,
what
Bobo the
is what
clown.
is what does everyone want to see my jerseys for? They're all fake.
Yeah, honestly, come on. I want to get into some beef now. Let's go. You said we were dropping names. Come on, bro. It's been an
We'll
hour.
drop
Drop
we'll
some names.
drop names, but I gotta ask you a couple more
Okay.
questions because we
Okay.
did have some signings. So
You're right.
Weston McKennie comes in. And now I know you've been beefing it up with our own Canadians, but let's talk about let's talk about an American. So, what are your thoughts on him coming in?
Uh, I like the idea of signing another young player. You know, what is he, 22 years old, just turned 22 the day we got him. So another young player, another young movement. I think the financial side, it's a 3 year or 3 million, sorry, euro loan before it
Right.
becomes an obligation if he plays 60% or whatever. I don't know, the details changed on that. I don't know when it
You
becomes an
got it.
obligation. But yeah, I think it's a really good piece of business, surprisingly, from Paratici for a change. It was good. And obviously, I've never heard of him before. We
Yeah,
signed him. I met
me
this guy on
neither.
Instagram a couple months ago. His name's Cairo on Instagram, sorry, and he actually plays in the Tottenham Youth Academy,
Oh,
and
okay.
he's actually played against McKinney.
Oh shit. Well, there you
Yes,
go, guys.
I talked to him about it, and he said that he single-handedly carried, what is it, Schalke, right? When they played against the Tottenham Youth Academy 2 years ago, I believe it was, and he said he single-handedly said he's really good. Cairo's the keeper for the Tottenham Youth Academy, so he got some shots from him. He says he's a really good shot, even though I know a lot of people online say he doesn't have a great shot, but I guess that's to each their own. But yeah, I watched some highlight videos on it. I think I love most about him is his classic Juve grinta. Obviously, he's like a bull. He puts
I
his head
hope so.
down. He goes for the ball. He'll run through somebody, and I like that he's not going to be a little sissy like Ronaldo or whoever's going to drop to the floor like Danilo. That really makes my blood boil when I see players do that. But no, yeah, I don't know much about him, but from what I new knowledge I seen, I think it's a pretty good signing. I think people are kind of overreacting. He's not going to be a starter. He's going to be a bench player. He's going to be a rotational squad player, and I think hopefully that can grow, and he'll grow with Pirlo. And I think the fact he's American is pretty good too, because obviously we want to expand the brand in America.
No, no, exactly. And just dropped our age of the squad, average age of the squad,
Here.
pretty much 2 years, which is crazy. Adding Kulusevski and then obviously McKennie as well as Artur,
Uh,
and that's unbelievable. And I think it's the right direction. Now we're flirting with some older players, and I just want your thoughts. I think lastly, I don't see. Obviously, the schedule was released
mhm.
yesterday. A big game against Merida towards the end in the
Yeah.
37th, which will be
Yeah.
whatever the midway point is approximately.
I think
So
it's like 18 or 17 we're playing the Derby against Inter the Derby d'Italia, which I'm kind of disappointed so
oh,
late.
that's gonna be huge towards the end of the season. But what are your thoughts about Suarez? Because it's heating up.
Yeah.
I
I don't
mean, I don't know if it's gonna be true. What
I
to believe?
happen, in my opinion.
You don't think so,
No, I do think so. I
or you
do.
do think so? You do
Yeah.
think so?
I don't know if you saw my tweet from if it was last night or the night before, a little bit of a bang, 70 likes, bang for my
Bang
accounts, like a
bang.
quarter of my followers. Yeah. But no, like I said, I don't respect him as a person. I never have. Obviously, you can say that he bit Chiellini because, it was in the moment thing, he was like just trying to do
That's for
whatever.
Suarez in that
Yeah.
moment right there.
I'm doing a middle finger too with you in solidarity, brother, through
Fuck
the
that.
no, but yeah, no, he's a piece of shit to put it explicitly, a
Oh,
little nicer.
facts.
He's not a good human being. He's not a good person. But you can't deny, ever since he's come to Barcelona from Liverpool, he's been an absolute bomber for them. He's
That is
scored
true.
incredible goals. He's outscored Messi, I think, in a couple Champions League seasons himself. So I think if you want to piss off some Messi fans, maybe he's carried Barcelona more than Messi in the Champions as of recently. But other than that, not to get too dramatic, I think he's a really good striker, and I don't think it's fair to complain about his age because can you name five strikers under 30 who are good enough to start for Juventus? Because I can't, and I think all the great strikers right now are flirting with 30, if not in their 30s. If you want to look at the Lewandowski, Harry Kane's getting up there now. Suarez, as we said, Firmino's almost 30, right? So if you want to start naming all these
True,
Aguero
true.
too, if you want to name all these elite strikers who you want Juve to buy, who are you going to buy, huh? Juve's never going to buy Timo Werner for 80 million. So who are you
Yeah.
going to buy, right? I think the only thing I don't like about the Suarez deal, I guess, other than his personality, but from a purely football perspective is the contract duration. I think 3 years is a little much for a player who's almost 33.
Well,
So I think maybe
11 million too, right?
that's
That's what
another
I've been
thing.
hearing.
It's crazy. I think I saw 14 mil gross from Forza Juve English, whatever that account there, the news account. Now it's 14 million gross, so I guess about seven, after taxes. So I guess it's not that terrible compared to the 10 million net I was seeing before.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
don't know. You see, the thing is, you don't know. Like all these numbers get floated around,
yeah, I don't even know.
and I think it's like that's a tough ask. I mean, um, Albert has kind of rebranded into Juventisimo, and he had a really great take about that, and I just think it's you look at the personality, like you said, the
Yeah,
contract is not going to be peanuts.
yeah,
I just think personally Cavani was a better option to go. I
hmm
guarantee you. I mean, I guess he didn't want to come because of the Napoli connection, but
yeah.
I think you could have snuck in a 1 year or a 2 year with him and kind of have like a stopgap for the
Mm,
next whatever youth player that we want to bring in. If you want to bring in Holland or whatever, you bring
mm-hmm.
someone in for 1 to 2 years. You kind
Yeah,
of like or of his caliber, right? I'm not saying you have to bring in Holland, but
yeah.
you have someone for
Agree with
1 to 2
him.
years. You have
Yeah,
1 to 2 years, and then you go, okay, maybe things are coming back. Maybe
hmm
COVID isn't as much of a factor. Some people saying
yeah,
it might take 5, it might take 10 years. I'm hoping we can turn this out
hmm
quickly.
definitely. Everyone for sure is.
Literally, it's like that, and then you have the news of Kadira not wanting to go, and you're just like, get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. Like,
Honestly, I don't know what's going on with these terminations. What takes so long?
holy
Just
shit.
terminate the goddamn contract and be done with it. Man, like I don't know. Something fears me that Kadira. I think, obviously Matuidi left. I think Higuain, in my personal opinion, is like 99% leaving by the end of the Mercato, which is going to be in October, right? But something sneakily inside of me is telling me we're not going to get the trifecta, and Kadira is going to stay.
And it's like, to me, it pisses me off because one Pirlo said it was gonna happen. Right? He's like, we're going.
Yeah, we're not
With
going with.
Higuain, he said we're going. So I was like, you should have just done the same thing with what's his name with Khedira. And
Did he
then
not?
no, he never. I don't think he mentioned he. I don't think he said clearly that our paths are separate. He said that
Okay.
clearly with Higuain that
Yeah,
we're on a
he did.
different
Yeah,
page, and it's not happening.
not
So
the
to
team plans. Yeah.
me, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Some other things to add. Obviously, the Italian. Sorry, we're gonna get into the social media right now. But
Yeah. Okay.
last couple things. Italia jersey, beautiful. Again,
Love
another thing that's gonna make me spend money through
it.
my ass.
Real, real, bro.
Adidas Icon collection, excuse me, came out.
Yeah,
So
on that
that
too.
looks pretty sweet with the huge Juve. They have like a sweater with like
I,
massive Juve.
it's like a throwback. Yeah.
It is. It does look very Lotto-esque.
Uh-huh.
Um, and like early 2000s and like late 90s. That looks pretty sweet. And then you have those ZX 6000. I don't know if you're a fan of dad shoes or not, but
I wasn't a huge fan on them. I saw the picture, but
just the fact that they're black. Well, I mean, Adidas kind of screwed me on that because I had them in my cart. I was ready to go, and then all of a sudden, I guess someone snagged them
oh
from my
no.
hands. So I wasn't very happy. I wasn't a very
Yeah.
happy man yesterday. I'll tell you that much.
So they
But
sold out more than the Ultra Boost because the Ultra Boosts are still sitting. Even like in Adidas Canada, you can still get the Ultra Boost.
I don't know if it's stock.
Yeah,
Like
like
I think if you're like an 8, like if you're 7, 8, 9, you're good to go. But because I have just like
yeah, you have all
gigantic,
these.
I have giant feet, so unfortunately, I got fucked on that one, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna try and still get them and show them off when I do the Ultra Boost, but we'll see if I can make that happen. It might be a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So
Yeah, like
we'll
I'm
see
looking
what
at
happens.
it say right
They're
now.
not a great shoe. They're not an one of the shoes where you're like, okay, that's a shoe that I really really have to have. I think it's more that I want it because I'm not sure what they're gonna come out with,
Yeah.
and yeah, I know. So I'm hoping to compare, the Italian jerseys, Again, I'm not going to mention. You might have been able to see them on my, right over here. They're sitting on the table, but we'll see if you'll be able to figure out which kits. Drop it in the comments, everybody. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'd like to get them just to kind of show them off, and who knows what Adidas is going to do in the future, because I don't trust them at all. The last thing we should discuss, though, what a joke it's been with the Tonali saga. Literally, we have Merda thinking that the bow is wrapped on this transfer. And all Milan does is like throw a few mils here. I think it was like 10 mil.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, 10 phone.
Literally, Maldini gets on the phone. And this is why I want legends of our club to get involved more often. And this is why you have to treat your legends right, is because they literally can make deals happen for you, make a call. And a lot of these guys who looked up to the players that
and idolize them,
and idolize can make the difference. And literally, it goes from a lot of people are saying, no, well, they wanted Merda wanted Vidal instead. And I don't think that's what it is. I think it just came. He got the phone call. He's like, hey, this is what our project is. Do you want to be a part of it? Milan is trending upwards. I think, to me, it's unbelievable how quickly that developed, and it's pretty much a done deal. I don't see it going back any other way. So
no, I think it's done too. I think Tonali is going to Milano.
So crazy happenings. But let's get into a little bit of social media. Fuck the news.
Let's go.
This can be left for. So let's get into it. You yourself, we'll get into you a little bit first, just to start. You've been on the anti-Canadian train for the past, probably since you were born. But what's been going on? You've been, a lot of you guys out there, guys. When it's banter back and forth, when you're going at it with someone. I find a lot of people, get rocked over little piddly like comments and insults. And it was funny because you kind of turned the you turned the rebound real quick when everyone started finding out that you live in a certain place in Canada. So
no, that's what's funny. I don't think a lot of people know this, because I don't know if they're like naive based on my location.
I have a location. Shit talk so much, they're like, how the hell could this guy live here?
Exactly. Yeah, no, but for those who don't know, obviously I live in Canada and I'm a Canadian citizen, so like I find it so funny. Like, it's just banter. And obviously, growing up in Canada, I've kind of seen firsthand, like, people's perception of football, or soccer as they call it here, And I think a lot of my hostility towards that comes from like the typical Canadian's perception on soccer. And I think that's where it comes from. But no, it's super funny. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, but I had this one guy who's Canadian. I forget where he's from in Canada exactly, but I made a comment under his thing about him being, I just wrote like -Canadian, and guy lost his shit, called me a fascist, said like I'm a Mussolini supporter, like absolutely lost his mind on me for just writing he's from Canada, and then like blocked me, everything, reporting, whatever. And like 2 days later, I'm just, tweeting as I do every day, and on a completely unrelated tweet, he comes in, he's like, hey man, just read your tweet, figured out that you're actually from Canada, haha, no way, sorry for overreacting. I literally was like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's just so funny.
It's literally, I don't know, like there's too much stock being taken into what is said and dropped, as well as like there's what I've noticed, at least with Juve fans, and this is why I go back and forth, is we'll literally, and I mean, sure, people could say the same thing about me. I don't know, you guys tell me. But when I get into a conversation with someone, let's say it's about formations or whatever, the team buying someone, not buying someone, or how we look, it literally turns into, this person doesn't want to get on their knees and like praise me. So now I'm going to go take the personal route and start shouting whatever, like literally I don't know if you know who Squeege is. My toilet squeegee. Literally, he goes, yeah, so we've looked great the past few games. So I'm like, okay, I really watched the games. We haven't looked great. We've played some shitty, like this was after the restart. Then he starts going, your podcast this, you
Really?
that, blah, 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 blah. But this is why no one watches. This what I'm like, dude, where like I just said that your opinion, like I don't agree with your opinion. Now all of a sudden you're like it's like the personal takes. Like guys, you can disagree if it's a matter of you think this, Again, Ivan, I got to show you, oh man, because you got a little bit, you got a little soft. You were going hard in the paint on IFTV.
Yeah.
A supposed person that doesn't watch their stuff.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden could say they're this, they're that.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 so on and so forth. And then someone comes on and says, okay, well, your opinion is trash or your take is trash. And then it's like, don't come with the insults. Well, that's kind of a little hypocritical when,
Definitely.
you're talking shit on someone that one, just said you don't know at all. You don't watch their content.
Yeah.
And you're judging them based off of them saying, cheering for a team that, again, if he does that, helps his brand. Now, I want to get into this because, it was pretty divided. I mean, there was a lot of shit talking going on in the Europa League final. And I mean, deservedly so. You could say whatever you want. I don't have a problem with you, giving someone, bantering someone saying, hey, this. My point is this. In no way should you say how someone is a Juve fan or how someone isn't a Juve fan. Yeah. That gets me right away. As soon as someone says fake fans, fake this.
True fan,
that's where I go, fuck off. And I'm sorry, Juve designer was totally out of line. And that's just facts. Now, if Bobo the Clown wants to get on and start defending her, instead of being a man and saying, you know what, you shouldn't call someone a fake fan. This guy's put a lot of work into it, blah, blah, blah. And being an actual adult, instead of being like jumping on and, yeah, that's right, he is a fake fan, blah, blah, blah. That just shows how much of a clown you are. Yeah. And I'm not shocked because his true colors have come out. But let's go back to the IFTV thing. Yeah. There was a lot of, in my opinion, what it was, everyone found their time to take a shot at the channel, and they did. They weren't doing it because so-and-so was saying that. It was, I don't like these guys. These guys have a big following. This is my perfect opportunity to take a shot. Hey, if you don't agree with the guy saying, don't watch his shit. That's my opinion. If you're really that bothered about him cheering for a team, that's fine. I don't agree with it. I don't think Juve fans should be cheering for Meta at all. That's my opinion on it. But and then people were saying, no, it's not about the work. But you said he's douche. Why is he doing this for a brand? They only sell T-shirts, guys. If you want to be jealous of 100,000 on Instagram, 40,000, they've put in the work. I haven't heard any bad things. Everyone I hear, there's a couple things that have been, said between me and another, which I'm not going to mention. But besides that, it's been all good. And these are people who have actually met them in person. So to get to the level where it was, I had to say something.
Yeah.
Because whether you're big or small, I don't give a shit. When some guys are getting attacked for literally no reason, I'm going to put my opinion in there. And if people could say, hey, that's polarizing, you don't like it, you don't want to follow, that's fine. I respect that. But to me, it came down to the point where I didn't like it. I did not like it. I thought there was, to get it in that to get that pissed off over someone saying, cheering for a team, it's like, dude, just like relax, like literally. And then someone else, and then another, and then Bobo the Clown goes on and it's like, Forza blank. And I'm not going to say it because that's the biggest bullshit clickbait I've ever seen. For then someone to start talking shit like that, it's like, dude, you're doing the exact same thing. You're being fake. You're talking shit. Your people are talking shit for you, and you're like defending that, and you're saying, "Oh, I would never do this. I would never say that," and then like doing some gimmick on your video. What the fuck is that bullshit,
Yeah.
man? Like, I'm sorry, like that's ridiculous. So to me, there's a lot of fakeness. There's
Yeah.
a lot of, I mean, like I said, there's the people that I choose to surround myself. I hope that they're real, but to then what piggybacked off of that,
Yeah.
uh, to like I said, if you don't know, just Juve for clicks
Yeah.
or just Juve. If you've never, I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
He's got his big numbers now. Everyone thought, there's a lot of there's a lot of people that and I got kicked off of a WhatsApp group, surprisingly enough, because of this,
Really?
because I was trying to defend my honor, and apparently that's not good enough, because when someone
Really?
questions your credibility, apparently it's not okay to then all of a sudden, keep talking shit about them.
Yeah.
Don't question my credibility. I got that chip. The chip was on my shoulder. It's right here, Bobo. Don't worry. That's gonna stay there. I'm not coming. I'm not, like I said. If people don't like the shots and shit I took on my legend, on my brand versus club video, if they don't
Uh-huh.
like it, they can unfollow. They don't have to listen. They don't have to take part in that. But to me, the chip is on the shoulder. I'm going in, and that's too bad. I mean, don't
Yeah.
you pissed off an Italian. We're not we're not the same as everybody else, guys. I'll tell you that right now.
Shut up.
We are not the same. This is on another level. You call someone into question, someone giving away a jersey that I bought with my own
Yeah,
money,
with your own money.
whereas all these other people are doing the same thing, doing giveaways out of their heart and soul, and saying, I would like to give back to the fans. I want to support. I knew it was going to become a thing. I one way or another, I knew, because it was like only 300, whatever.
Yeah.
I had this was in the works for a long time. This wasn't just a whim that I decided. And I mean, like I said, guys, if you think I'm buying fans, I said it in the other video. If you think I'm buying fans, hit the unfollow, hit the unsubscribe, go to the fake clickbaiter, stay on his account. Don't worry about it. I like to get the story. I like to get authentic content. I saw around Turin, he posted about, someone going to a nightclub. To me, that's a great story.
Yeah.
Seeing the insight of how the players were acting, stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
real content.
Uh-huh.
That's not taking someone like Zorro's video,
Mhm.
dubbing it in English, and then going, "Oh, this is my video. This is my content.
Yeah.
Here, guys. Here's about Calciopoli." That's not my style. Okay. That's and that's not a lot of other people's style. A lot of other things haven't been said, and they've been dealt, behind closed doors. And in my personal opinion, that was the wrong way to go about it, because
Yeah.
now it becomes Daniel's the crazy guy on the hill shouting like an old man to saying
Yeah.
this guy's an asshole, and everyone else is like, well, look, he's got 5,000 subs now. He can't be that much of a prick. Well, again, a lot of the stuff you guys, and then it's kind of like this, this is it. After this episode and after what I said on that first one, I'm not talking about, I'm going about my own business, because a lot of you guys don't want to hear it, and that's fine. But I had to say my piece, and I have to go in, and the stuff that's happened with Socios is a disgrace. Literally, I've had multiple people telling me in private conversation what's going on. You see multiple people winning the same thing, signed jerseys, signed balls. What does that tell the fans? Like, what does that tell? An Everton fan wins a 10-bet.
Oh yeah, that really pissed me off.
What does that say? What are you doing? You're on behalf of the Juve fans for Juventus as a brand. If you just want influencers to go, like, what's the point of that? The point of that is for people to go and enjoy. And I think it's such a travesty that happened. Literally, someone's celebrating like they've won the jackpot on a goal. And it's funny because Napoleonismo was supposed to come on, and he kind of gave it to Bobo as well. Because he said, you're celebrating a 2-1 goal. I think it was against Genoa or whatever the situation. And he's like, oh, you're making fun of the rest of the 42,000 fans. Dude, come on, give it up. The contest was rigged. You got asked to go. Stop thinking. He's done a video about the 2006 World Cup, literally freaking out on video in 2020. I'm sorry. It was a beautiful moment, but you're not getting the same reaction that you did in 2006, boy. You're not.
Don't lie.
Dude, and you know what pisses me off? I hate to bring this up, but we get to the history part. And I really prided myself to try and, bring back the history, talk about the past. And, I respect what Rocco did. I did watch the video in support of him. But to me, when you're starting to jump left and right in content, and he's stolen content from everybody. Just so you guys all know, he's literally got a talking to from all the channels because he's literally, ripping ideas and trying to start projects and then flaking with other people. That shit isn't talked about because why? Like I said, it should have been dealt with. It should have been in the public, and the guy should have been called out. And then at that point, you guys have the facts. Well, like I said, now it's me shouting on a hill saying, "Oh, let me see the DMs that he sent passive aggressively towards you, talking about a 30 sub channel." A guy's sending me DMs because of one plug on my own fan club that gave you a membership for free.
Bro,
and I threw a plug on your Q&A, and that's what you're passive aggressively freaking out about.
What was he so mad about that? I never really understood what the point was of him getting angry about that.
Oh, I'm just being your friend. Whereas he goes on, he's going. It's like, dude, if it bothers you, be a man. Come to me and say, hey, this is what bugs me, and I'm going to tell you how I feel, and that's how we're going to go back and forth. Don't be like, oh, I'm your friend. I'm trying to help you so you don't get in trouble with anyone else.
That's why you aired it out on Twitter on public instead of DMing you. Like, dude,
just grow up, dude. Like, literally,
my ass too. Like, he's been DMing me.
You're trying to slap everyone on in public, and then they give you shit in the DMs, like a certain other massive Juve account, which I'm gonna try and straighten that out. I think I need to. I think it needs to. I think we can have a good relationship. I like to see what he's done. He's stayed off of the opinions and more into the news, and I think he's grown a lot. But I think he was doing a lot of the same, and I think, to me, what you see is what you get. I'm not like this in person and in videos, and then all of a sudden in the DMs I'm like, oh, but when I said at the beginning, I would love to collab, Bobo. I'd like to have you on the show. Let's do some videos. That was genuine. I thought this guy was literally here. He comes out, he says, oh yeah, I'm going to support you. Then starts, once he starts seeing everybody come back, Juve podcast is coming back. Al's doing really well. Roman's doing really well. Oh, now he starts feeling the pressure on his shoulders. Well, dude, you're literally, you criticize me about a fake contest. But you literally had a contest where James is telling me you still haven't sent him his stuff. So what the fuck are you talking about? And then you're literally showing off how many subs you're getting. Oh, because what the fuck is that all about? So like, you call a spade a spade.
It's the same people who are saying like, it's not about subs, it's not about numbers, but
it is, man. Like, I'm sorry, this guy literally all he wants is your subs and to make money and make a career off of this. I've said it multiple times. This is just for fun. If it gets to 500, it gets to 500. If it gets to 10, it gets to 10. I don't care. Yes, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push sometimes. Yeah, I want to grow the channel. I'm not gonna bullshit about that. But like, to me, it's not about like, I have a career. Okay, I've been like having a hard time even scheduling guests this whole past week because I got to work and I'm working overtime and this and that, and it's like, guys, I just want to do this for fun. If you think this is an act or bullshit, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Again, the only thing I can say is unsubscribe, follow who you want to follow. Again, after this, I want to kind of get away from this. I want to go back into the content, bringing on new guests, talking about Juve, and that's it. I mean, whatever happens will happen in the future. But to me, I just had to air it out, and literally, man, it's just surprising. because I keep saying this, like there's so much room. I was trying to get Bruno back in. Like I hope Bruno gets back. I hope he does content. I hope and everyone, you know, there's Juventinita, he's doing
Yeah.
his podcast now, and I love it. It's so
Gio
great.
Chicho, I love him. I love him.
Exactly, and like he's doing such a good job, and like I told him, I'm like, come on,
Podcast.
man, get some Calcio pod. He's like, well, there's enough. Guys, there's not enough. We want to hear you. I want to hear your opinions. I literally love podcasts. I love content when I can. I know it's, like I said, it's a little bit busier, but to me, it comes down to this. There's so much room out there.
Yeah.
And for me to start seeing people like trying to like box out who can
Like
be
thinking
there,
they're elite, yeah.
it's really, it pisses me the fuck off. And at the end of the day, whether you think I'm being a hater because he's got 5,000 subs now and I'm trying to bring down his empire,
Yeah.
I call people as I see them.
Yeah.
An asshole is an asshole. Whether he wears sheep's clothing or not,
Yeah.
I'm a pretty damn good judge of character. And that guy is a snake, and then that guy I don't want to deal with. I started, well, again, in terms of the WhatsApp group, I was defending my honor. People didn't like it. People thought I was getting aggressive. Again, you know how Italians act. Hey, if you guys don't like it, that's fine. I'm moving on from that group, from the WhatsApp group. I started my own. I'm going to have the people that I think that I enjoy talking to, that are good people. And at the end of the day, people were like, well, do a video with him. Maybe you guys can sort it out. I don't want to get involved with that. I've gotten to a point of life, with family and with friends where you got to cut the toxic people out.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's just it. There's a lot of shitty people out here that, they want to get in your way for whatever reason. And like I said, there was no real threat. Like I laugh about it with Al, because I'm like, dude, don't even worry about it. I'm just out here chilling. I'm having a good time. I'm talking to people I want to talk to. I want to meet, and maybe we can go catch a game or whatever. Meet on a vacation or something. That's all I'm doing this for, and for the love of Juve. So that's my spiel, guys. Whether you guys want to, like I said, whether you want to believe it, whatever, that's up to you. To me, it comes down in simplest terms, and I hope you can see this. And to put it in simplest terms, and yes, guys, I did turn on the lights. It was getting dark. The sunset look wasn't going that well for me in the last little bit, but I still hand true. Like I said, the simplest thing that I can see in a person and what their motives are is this little card right here. So you're probably like, Daniel, what is this? Why are you showing me a picture of Dybala celebrating against Lokomotiv Moscow?
I have the same one, dude.
And I think, yeah, Daniel, why are you showing me a photo of like myself? Why is that your biggest art? You know why, guys? Because
lump of gold is that very valuable thing that only you have out of everybody who's a Juventus fan.
Exactly. So literally everybody gets dozens of these, whether it's Ronaldo. I mean, if you purchase from Juve, they give you one of these, and it's either Ronaldo or Dybala, De Ligt. They got a whole bunch of them, and I think it's a great touch. Now, what I've never seen Juve fans do, and I was shocked this is even a thing. They couldn't have done a hashtag like hashtag Juventus merch or whatever, new kit, whatever the case may be. We've got it into on the back hashtag best Juve fan.
Yeah, you give us the most money. You're the best fan.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. I've seen the back of the card multiple times.
You kind of ignore it.
Do I even bat an eye? I mean, I would love to get this signed. Dybala.
Yeah.
I would like you to sign this.
Yeah,
but
bro.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, who, as a Juve fan, now you could say, oh, it's for marketing, this, that, and the other thing. Who, as a Juve fan, goes on Twitter, posts a new jersey or whatever the hell they bought,
and
hashtags it best Juve fan. To me,
His-
that just says it all about who a person is. Now whatever your opinion is on that, that's up to you. But to me, really, hashtag best Juve fan. So that's why I'm gonna be going hashtag fakest Juve fan. Let's get it trending. That's my fucking shit, and no, I want no one else to take that. I'm the hashtag fakest Juve fan,
When
and
I get my new kits in, I'll make sure to tag that too. Get that on the
we
channel.
are definitely going to be rolling that out from now on. And literally, I was just like, and then from all of that drama to come out, to me to take a shot like that, which
Yeah.
really I think is warranted because, again, I think that's just shady shit. And
Way
I
by
mean,
it. Like everyone gets this little card, and
exactly. I don't think I've seen one person.
never have I. No.
And I know I've dominated the conversation, but I had to say my piece, Anto, and I'm sorry for not including you more. I'm just
Okay.
going to say that right now. But I'm going to get you more involved because we got some other topics right now.
I don't know if you want me just to comment. I guess I backtrack a little bit there. I don't
Yeah,
want
if you want. Obviously, play devil's advocate. Like I said,
to.
say whatever you want.
Okay.
You know, again, please
Oh.
don't kiss my ass if that's not how you think.
Yeah.
I know you won't because I know your character. I see how
Yeah.
you're back and forth. But like I said, let me know what you
Yeah.
think of the whole situation.
Okay, sure. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit there to the IFTV because I think that's the one I was most involved with.
Yeah.
And I think my tweet kind of got a lot of attention, and Marco actually replied to me personally
Oh,
about it.
nice.
So he actually saw that. And yeah, first off, I love IFTV. I've listened to their podcast for almost 2 years now. I have two Calcio shirts. I have a Calcio hat. I have a Calcio sticker on my MacBook. I love their brand. And back to my Canadian thing, my biggest beef with football or soccer, however they call it here, is the fact that it's the least popular sport here, and because of that, people have their opinion. And thankfully, because of the work of Marco and
Mike.
all of them at IFTV, they've really grown Italian football because even though football in general is the lowest sport, Italian is even lower because everybody knows the Barcelona, the Real Madrid, and the Premier League teams, but nobody knows about the Italian teams really. So
Right.
I really, really, really respect what they've done. They've grown, they've collaborated, they've had videos with Sandro Tonali, they've got David Beckham to wear their merch, Douglas Costa wears their merch constantly. So I in no means meant any disrespect to Marco, especially, or to IFT in general. I respect their brand. Like I said, I tweeted a picture of me wearing a shirt. I
Yeah.
respect their brand. I represent them. I support them. But on that note, I think I am going to apologize, which is the first time you're going to hear that exclusively on your podcast to Marco if he took offense in that, and by calling him a fake fan, because like you said, I think there's a trend amongst Juventus fans which has only gotten worse since Ronaldo's arrival of people feeling that they're superior to one another for whatever reason. And I know it goes back to region bias in Italy. If you're Italian, you know that the South and
Right.
the North, the difference. So there's some Italians who that. But I think mostly we've got into this curve where it's like, everyone versus the Ronaldo fans. And there's some people who are kind of in between and they like to throw comments like if you don't kiss every player's ass, you're not a real fan. And I've been subject to that, so it was wrong on my part to call Marco not a true Juventino, and I'm sorry, I regret that. But on the same token, the way I saw the video rubbed me the wrong way, the way he celebrated, because like I told you before and personally, but I'll reiterate, like I'm like a closet Roma fan because my nonno, which has gotten me into football really, is the biggest AS Roma fan, and he kind of got me into it a little bit, and obviously my father likes Juventus and whatever. We'll get into where that splits after,
Right.
but no, I'm in every competition really since I've started watching. I've always been kind of pro Serie A, and I agree with them on that. You always want to represent the Italian because the Italians are always the underdogs. Like a team like Napoli, who was in Serie D before brought up, why would you not cheer for them against?
Oh,
Did I lose you there for a sec?
yeah, you did. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, my Wi-Fi just went out. Sorry, but yeah, a team like Napoli, who's brought up by De Laurentiis as much shit as he gets, brought up this team from Serie D and brought them to a point where they can play against Barcelona in a Champions League match. I think is really respectable. I don't really think there's a reason why to hate on them for that. Same thing with Atalanta. I think anyone who hates Atalanta doesn't have a heart, and I know that was another big thing. I don't know how you
Exactly.
can not cheer for a team like this. There's absolutely no reason. They're playing the biggest cheaters and frauds and PSG and oil money, and how can you not cheer for them is beyond me. I don't understand how you can't cheer them. There's no explanation. But again, I'm sorry, this is kind of getting into a big spiel, but my point is that I'm pro Serie A. No matter who plays, I always cheer for the Italian team. But Inter is the exception. I'm a Juventus fan, Juventino first before I'm a Serie A fan. So obviously, I'm always Juventus, and I can never ever cheer for Inter, no matter the competition. So I respect Marco that he's able to put that hostility aside because I'm not sure how many people who listen here have actually gone to Europe, but there's people who die and get stabbed over shit like this, right? So
Oh yeah.
fans are crazy. So I think my reaction's actually pretty moderate. But again, um, it's just the way he celebrated. He celebrated harder than I've seen him celebrate Juventus goals because I watched the channel. So that just rubbed me the wrong way to scream like that when, Inter scored. It's one thing if you want Inter to win. Deep down, did I want Inter to win a little bit over a Spanish team? Maybe. But, I would never, ever react like that when Inter would score. So I think that's what rubbed me the wrong way about it. So yeah,
Yeah.
see, Marco, feel free. Anybody, feel free to cheer who you want to. I'm the biggest advocate of, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, do what you want, but just I think it's unrealistic when you know that football is such a passionate sport, like I said, to not expect backlash to celebrating, an
Oh
Inter
yeah.
like in such a way I don't think is right. But again, I'm not going to tell people how to live their lives. But just
What?
again, be surprised when you're going to get heat for celebrating like that an Inter
Well,
goal.
I think he was shocked at how much
Yeah,
backlash there was.
yeah,
'Cause, I mean, he tweeted about it, so he
yeah.
definitely was getting a
No, he
lot
got
of hate.
lots of
To,
hate. Yeah,
to me, it was just it was the personal side. I mean, I respect the brand, like you said. To me, I wouldn't go that far. I did not want Merida to win at
yeah,
all.
no,
But there's levels to this shit.
yeah,
Okay, I mean, there's the people that are on the bandwagon. Well, everybody, cheers against us. Now,
yeah.
this is my take on that, and I've said this before.
Mhm.
IQ wise and fan wise, we're up here. Everybody else is down here.
Yeah.
You don't go down to their level and do
Mhm.
the stupid shit they do.
Definitely.
You stay superior to all those guys. So there's
Yeah.
no need. That's why even some banter between, Merda, it doesn't do it for me sometimes because it's
Yeah.
like they haven't won a trophy in fucking 9 years. Well,
Definitely.
that's damage enough. Okay, you look at
Yep.
Kibosh, Sivosh, whatever the fuck his name is,
Oh, I hate that guy.
fucking Nima. These guys are all like literally they've got nothing. They've
Mm.
got nothing. They've got no ammo. They're dead in the water. They can celebrate all they want every time we lose. They're
Yeah.
still 100 times less of a squad. For a team that had to win in the summer and go to a court to win trophies, that just explains it enough.
Yeah.
Now, so in terms of that, yes, there's levels to this.
Mhm.
Affiliations, to me, it was on, again, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And again, they still got the 100,000, they still got the 40,000. So really, you guys crying about, you
And I'm
know,
still gonna listen to their podcast, so it's
you
no
know,
disrespect. I listened to their podcast yesterday.
well, exactly. And I think Antonio's the guy that, like, to me, I kind of remind myself
Yeah.
like because he's so blunt. He doesn't give a shit. He's like,
Yeah.
screw those guys, fuck those guys. I don't give a shit if they lost. I hope they lost by 6.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like to me, or how he was celebrating about how Tonali signed
Yeah.
for
But
Milan.
that's again, he's someone who's born in Italy and understands how
Right.
divided and deep these roots are between clubs. Like I don't think people understand in Europe. I'm not saying it's right or agree with it, but people die over what
Oh yeah.
team they support. Like there is derbies. I forget what derby it was. Was it Boca Juniors 2 years ago? There was like safety concerns. They canceled it for 2 weeks. Is like there was like 10 people who got stabbed. Like I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
agreeing with
That's
it or
always
defending it, but like in Europe, it's just such a like it's who you are, what team you support. So I don't think North American fans can ever truly understand or relate to the passion that goes in, and I think that's kind of where it comes from. So I don't want to use the word ignorant, but if you know what I'm saying, it's like you've just never experienced it. You've never lived in a city. You've never
Right.
talked in Italian to someone, right? Like they won't be friends with someone who's a different supporter, right? I'm not agreeing with it, but that's just how it is. And I think Antonio, obviously, he's from Bari, right? So he knows.
Well,
He's
it's thousands upon thousands of years
yeah,
of history. Okay, we're not talking about like North America. 150 years is a big thing.
yeah,
Okay, I go working within construction, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a we have a heritage committee. This building was built in
yeah,
1909." I'm like, "What the? That's fucking history.
yeah,
What the hell is that all about?" But anyways, that's that's another subject. But it's
yeah,
like to me again, it's another story. To me, the way that people reacted was almost like like they had like screwed someone over or they didn't
yeah,
take a photo with a fan. That's what the reaction seemed like to me. Now, again, guys, I've said this before, and someone was like, "Well, everyone can have their own opinion." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. You can have your opinion and say he's an asshole. This, they're buying views, they're doing this." But I also have the same opinion to come back at you and say your opinion's bullshit. That's way out of line. You
mhm,
say you don't watch the guy's content, and now all of a sudden you're acting like a hypocrite and saying, "Hey,
yeah,
now it's not the right way to act."
mhm,
To me, that's a double standard. So,
yeah,
like at the end of the day, whether and you could say I'm doing that to Bobo the Clown, that's
mhm,
fine. But I think my actions are justified. And
mhm.
yeah, what did you think about that? Call another fan calling buying fans. I guess I bought those 300 fans, guys.
Yeah. No,
You know,
yeah,
if that was the case, I might as well have gone on to one of those like actual sub websites
yeah,
and
and Bob,
bought like 150,000 or like a million, and then
why would
you
you
know
buy such little amount, even if,
at least I
yeah,
can at least I could have said it was worth something. A
yeah, for
million
real.
subs. Maybe I'll
No,
get a plaque or something. I don't know, but
yeah,
stay tuned, guys. Maybe I'll do a GoFundMe to get me a million subs.
no, bro, just about that. I'm not sure what it's. I don't know if it's jealousy or insecurity about their own content, but I've known you for maybe 2 years before, 3 accounts ago for me. But
Yeah, that's
before you started the podcast, remember when this was just kind of like an idea in your head, and you were like, "Would you be cool to come on?" Like this was like 2 years ago, before people know me as well as I am now. Not really, I'm well known, but before people kind of knew me at all, right? You were talking to me about, and that's what I always respected about you, that all these big guys were only concerned about what the big accounts like Hash, or who's a complete moron, but
oh,
anyway.
we haven't even brought that up yet.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. But no, they've always been concerned about that because they want to do news and shit. And like you've always been so genuine and down to earth to me, at least, and I'm sure to everybody else. And like you've had me on here now twice, so I thank you for that. So I don't know how anyone could have a malicious thoughts or words towards you, because you've always been so kind to me. But I don't know, like, and like you said too, with like if you even bought your subs, and no comment on if other people do, but people who buy subs and Instagram followers, they buy like hundreds of thousands. They don't buy 300. So you just don't make sense.
Well, no, it wasn't. He wasn't insinuating that I was going to an account. He said, "Well, I was trying to buy subs because I threw a jersey
Um,
contest, like
yeah,
literally for 300." Like,
yeah.
come on,
Mhm.
dude. This was in the works for a while. I had this jersey, so I
You
did
re-
it. I did it with the What else did I give away?
you gave me a T-shirt. You gave away a T-shirt that I
So
ended up.
I did the contest because I knew that was going to charity,
Yeah.
and I said, "Hey, he's doing a launch. Um, might as well throw a contest for that." And then again, like I said, you won that one. I did the Marquisio jersey that I had, and again, like I said, it was a mistake on Juve's part, and I
Yeah.
ended up with two jerseys. So I said, "Hey, I got two jerseys.
Mhm.
Why?" Like I think one of the numbers was like a little bit off or something, and
Okay.
me being a freak, I emailed them
Mhm.
right away and I said, "Hey, this shit ain't right. I want a brand new one." They sent me a new one. I said, "Hey, to give
That's
back to the fans, to
yeah.
someone that made, someone deserves it.
Mhm.
Let's give this jersey away." What am I gonna do with a second? A second. It was the yellow jersey with the blue. What am I gonna do with it? I said.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, let's give it to a fan that's deserved, that follows the channel, watches whatever, is gonna be nice enough to that retweets when something comes out, whatever the case may be, give it out. Those are my motives, guys. Like, it's not. The story behind that jersey is a little bit interesting, in the fact that I bought it for someone who was very close to me, and I'm not going to drop the name because it's been kind of a rocky past, and so it was literally bought from a website that I would say is not the best known for their jersey selling.
Okay.
The jersey is exactly the same. It's an authentic jersey. It's the replica version, not the player version. Actually, I don't think they did player versions back then, or at least that you could buy.
I don't think so, no.
I've bought about 3 of these jerseys. 2 of them we actually wanted to wear. I bought it for a friend. Like I said, the situation is kind of rocky. I said, hey, I got an extra one of these. I believe what it was, so again, I'll tell you this. Don't buy from UK Soccer Shop because those fuckers don't know what the fuck they're doing. They have all legit merch. Yeah. All legit stuff. Okay. And then when it goes to customization, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I got like the brand. It's got and I'm going to be honest with you guys because, again, I don't want people to call me when it comes up, oh, yeah, he was right, fake jersey. Again, you look at the photos I posted when I did launch the contest, and I want to say last call, guys. Friday, I want to have it launched out. I want to give it out on Friday. So obviously you might not see this by then, but hopefully the winner's announced. And like I said, guys, because of the stores, the numbers are a little bit. So I'm gonna have to redo that for the person. I know how to fix it. It's a pretty easy fix. But yeah, the patch is fucked up. Is the wrong one. They put the one on for like the 11-12 season instead of the 08-09 season. Okay. So I have 2 fucking jerseys of Del Piero. Yeah. So again, that was one. Like I said, one of my favorite jerseys. Mm-hmm. That bright yellow. The jersey against Real Madrid comes to my mind. Unfortunately, I'm not friends with that person who it was supposed to go to. Yeah. So it's been sitting in my closet. Actually, friends, I'm not going to get into it. It's a long story about my personal relationship, so I'm not going to get into that right now, but maybe in the future. But, guys, that's why I have an extra jersey. Again, I think one of you fans deserves to get it because, again, it is extremely difficult to get those jerseys. You go to classicfootballshirts.com, .co.uk, excuse me, and they're doing 20% if you guys, I'm not sure if it's still on, but check them out, save a little bit of money, but it's very difficult to get those. Oh yeah, they're legit, 100%, and they tell you everything. If let's say the numbers weren't the right numbers, they tell you. If they say there's a little crease here, there's a nick here, sometimes it'll say, brand new with tags or in bag with tags. So they got the real one. Those obviously cost you more money, but
yeah, because I've been looking on there, but I wasn't sure. Like, I've never actually known anyone who bought from there. So I
almost was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me sell it or let me find a kid. Yeah. I was so pissed off because of the situation, because someone was like, you know what? You want to buy fans? So I'm like, okay, well, this is really, and then I thought about it. I'm like, am I going to really put this to the detriment of the fans who have supported me, who have come on the show, who have, retweeted, followed, watched the content every weekday, you name it. So why should I let this asshole, take it away from all of you guys? I mean, I think you guys deserve it. I mean, you guys have gotten me here. Like I said, whether it's slow, whether it's fast, I don't care. I just want someone to enjoy in a jersey that I've worn multiple times. That's actually one of the jerseys I do wear a lot because, like I said, it might not necessarily be the perfect patch or whatever, which again to me is like it's OCD in a sense with kits. So guys, I want to give it to one of you guys. So we're gonna make that happen.
It's another detriment to you. Just I don't know. Just in hearing you speak, you look so passionate, and I don't think you have to do this. And there was a guy under my tweeted a picture of when I got my home kit, and he was asking me how much I got it. And I think us living in like the first world, I think it's really hard to understand. Like football is really a global sport, and there's so many people who are not as fortunate as us living in North America and even Europe to some extent. I know it's a little harder there, but especially North America, where we can drop. Me at least living in Canada, it's like $150 by the time you're said and done Canadian on a kit, and 3 of them per season. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that. But there's some people who was asking me, the guy back to the story was asking me how much, and I told him how much, and he was blown away because he's like, well, like I don't even make that much in 3 months. So I think it's, really sad. And I think people are obviously just jealous, and it's really sad because someone like that to win a jersey from you because you have 2 extras, it's just something so, awesome, even if it is yours is obviously not a fake, but even for them, if they were to get a fake jersey, it would probably be they treat it like it was their greatest possession. So you might not need a jersey and you might think you're buying followers, but like, just you giving away something is just so nice. And there's so many people that could want it and need it and just love it.
And you said it perfectly and I didn't even mention that. And I should have went there because that's a great place to go. There's so many people out there, and again, everybody's busting their ass. And I mean, I respect people who are, who are busting their ass every day, going to work. And, like I said, everybody isn't as fortunate. I'm very fortunate. Like, even though I was laid off for 6 months, I'm still very fortunate to live in a place where I can say what I want, have a computer, put together a podcast, have the clothes on my back, buy a whole bunch of Juve jerseys, go on vacation. Like, again, I'm privileged in that sense. And I don't take that for granted at all. And I know there's lots of people that are out there that maybe they can only even get a scarf, or maybe they can only get, a hat or whatever, or buy the replicas.
Or a t-shirt.
Those aren't the people I take shots at. I've taken shots at people who've bought fakes that, again, we're throwing in this who's a fake fan, who's a real fan. And it's like, okay, you're telling people how to be a fan, but you're also not even buying jerseys for real, and you live in Canada. Exactly. That doesn't correlate. Now, again, like you said, there was a comment, funny enough. So underneath Bobo the Clown's bullshit response of what he had to say about that, there was literally, and I want to call out Lalo. I mean, I'm not sure what his situation is, but he was like, literally, bro, this could be fake. This could be, a replica. This could be real, whatever it is. I would love the jersey. So it's just, again, you put it perfectly. People, and like I said, I like to bring the passion. I am Italian.
Yeah.
I remember me and Al went back and forth one episode, and really we kind of got heated, but it wasn't malicious on any level. It's just, that's like two guys going back and forth, both Italian, having that blood, that DNA, and it's just, guys, I can't control it.
Mm-hmm. I feel you, brother. Yeah, exactly the same way, obviously.
With the CR7 fans, we'll get into that a little bit. I kind of had I went a 7 years war with those fools after I said some things. But
I've had my fair share of interactions with them.
It's literally, guys, if you start seeing me tweet, and I'll say this again because it seems like people aren't getting the picture.
Mm-hmm.
If you see me saying really stupid shit and it's with CR7 rhymes, CR7 this,
Danny Golf nonce.
Exactly. It's all just trash.
Yeah.
And
bro.
literally, I just enjoy just rocking their world all day.
Funny.
And it's literally like it's become fun because someone in their mentality that could cheer for one player, defend that much. I don't understand. I really don't.
I don't get, like, I understand the point of like some of these fans, not necessarily the Ronaldo ones. Like, you are a fan of the team, but the players make the team. Like, there's so many players that have made you support Juve. Like, most of them is Del Piero or Baggio or Marchisio for me, right? But like, obviously the players are what attract to a club, the Maldinis of the world, right? But there's a certain point where the player makes you fall in love with the club, but it's the club is what you love. Like, the player, you have to kind of understand, is going to retire eventually, and I don't think it's really intelligent on their behalf to devote their entire football love towards a individual player, because at the end of the day, the player might bring you to the club, but you're gonna fall in love with the club is what the point is.
Yeah. Well, there's someone I've had on. I'm not going to name his name because he kind of, it's again like you, wants to keep it, more personal, which is fine. I think if he did kind of, give it out, personally, it wouldn't, be the best for him, right? Because of his affiliation with being Ronaldo and kind of getting in those banter. And I mean, me and him have gone back and forth a little bit here and there. Again, but it's a respectful level, and I kind of see where he's going, and I see, he sees my point. With these guys, there's no way. They don't see anything but just ridiculous comments, like thinking that we should be building Ronaldo with Ronaldo. It's like, who thinks that? Like, I'm sorry, like that's just so out of touch.
No,
Like,
for sure.
and I mean, if that's what you guys, if there are Juve fans who think that, I mean, tell me why I'm wrong. I mean, to me, it makes zero sense to build on someone who's 35 to 37
It has like another year and a half, maybe.
and has just recently have like some foot infection in Portugal. Shocker, guys. And then the Bernadeschi fools out there, like literally the guy's out for another month now. So what's the defense now? Well, another month that we can't get rid of this guy. Apparently, it's just. But to me, Matt, it's just all bullshit. It's literally like, I think I've said, oh yeah, I wish he tore his ACL. Like really, what Juve fan is legitimately going to say that, knowing we pay the guy 31 million? Like, come on. Like, come on, Danny Golf. Like, really? Yeah. Really, buddy?
So you think we want that much dead money? Like,
I know. And literally tried to like tag it to get like the swarm to like mass, like they're like, like, oh, let's see if I can get this post. Let's see if I can get the cohort to circle jerk around my post now. So I mean, it is what it is. It's good times for me. Like I said, I gotta laugh. I'm literally just sitting, just typing, laughing, seeing all the tears like just flood. If there would be enough tears to flood Ronaldo's own island that he's from with all these fans. It's literally a craze. Let's get into some like shit disturbers. And if recently you've seen, this is going to be, we're going to have two more categories before we end up, because it has been a long podcast, and I appreciate you staying and talking about this, Anto, because I had to get it off my chest. I said in my last video, it's going to be this and that video, and that's it. But there's been some funny situations. Obviously, you guys, the Dybala transfer, shocker of a signed extension, literally sent Juve fans into cardiac arrest. And Mohamed, you literally fooled the shit out of me. Not in the sense that I was like, if I was like, holy shit, we just signed him, and then you always got to look at the handle. Always got to look at the handle. But then to literally be like, hey, how's it going? Whatever, I'm going to be on the podcast coming this week. And I'm like,
that was so funny.
Who the fuck is this guy? And he's like, what do you mean? We were on for like 2:30, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, this guy is whoever. He's got a different name, different handle.
Yeah.
And then he messaged me. He's like, hey, man, sorry. I'm just fucking with a whole bunch of people. And I was just like, oh, Mohammed, you. And then he finally changed back, and everyone was like,
so got so many people. It was hilarious.
Fucking good job, man. And then Uncle Drew. Now,
he's a pretty recent.
He's got the run-in with the law, and the law being Twitter. I hope he's okay. I hope he gets his account back, because I do want to have him on. I'm supposed to have him on with Mohammed on the podcast, but
that's his backup account going.
Literally, guys, and Bobo the Clown. I don't know how you could say we are getting on the Arsenal. I'll tell you right now, from the rest of the Juve fans of the world, we ain't getting on that. I'm not clicking for that Arsenal jersey. I don't give a shit that Merda's on the other side. There's only one name I'm clicking for, and that's Juventus. Yes. And I won't say Forza, that team, and I will not support anyone who's against. I don't give a shit. Arsenal is just another shit show of a club. Embarrassment of a club.
Care for any English clubs.
that I will never support those guys. So I just want to make that clear. But yeah, Uncle Drew, man, with the Fabrizio Romano, like
Oh my God, that was
he scared the shit out of me too. I'm not gonna bullshit, but then again, I thought back to it. I'm like, no, because once you read the tweet, and Ivan, bro, how you got, or I think no, Rocco, come on, bro, how once you read that tweet and it's like, yes, they just accepted 100 million. I'm like, okay, come on now. But that clickbait, that headline, that's from Fabrizio Romano, man.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. That's the new craze on Twitter. Fake accounts, but
It's funny.
I guess they're cracking down again. Like I said, hopefully, Drew, we can have you, Uncle Drew, we can have you on the pod. So
Supported by a lot of angry fans, but yeah. I know Twitter's been pretty harsh lately on their suspensions, but not as bad as Instagram. Instagram's gotten worse. I don't know how much you're on Instagram, bro, but yeah.
well, that's something I gotta improve, and I gotta start putting these edits again. Like I said, guys, let me know when you guys want to have certain players done. We'll make it happen. All of my new stuff that gets put out usually goes through, has a nice edit, has a nice flashy edit. It's funny now certain people are doing that as well, similar way. But anyways, yeah, let's last but not least, let's talk about our reporters, our journalists, journalistic integrity. Now,
Here we go.
you shocked me because the other clown I like to talk about. No, I'm not talking about Hashim. I'm talking about Blano. Now, when you were like, I kind of feel bad for the guy, that completely sent me in a loop because I was like, Anto, feel bad for this guy. Holy shit, what has happened? This is a new man. This is a new man. So I want to hear your thoughts on that. I want you to give everybody your thoughts on Monblano. I got a list of other names.
Okay.
I mean, to me, when he goes, we can buy Messi, no questions asked. I'm like, dude, relax, calma now, man. Like, no. I know you've done the rounds with Bobo the Clown. Around Turin did an interview. Okay, calmati. Holy shit. Like,
nah, bro.
how do you think that's, even with the 69 million we just were down? Like, we're not Man City. I'll tell you that, guys. We're never gonna be Man City. As much as we want to try and like build a team and buying whoever we want, it's not gonna happen. Nah, but anyways, your thoughts, bro.
Yeah, to answer that initial question of Monblano, yeah, obviously every reporter wants to be first to the scene to report. I think that's kind of how it is now with Twitter and clicks and likes. Every reporter wants to be first. And Monblano, as much as I defend him, he goes for the extraordinary because he wants to be credited for the first. And that's kind of what happened with Ronaldo when it first started picking up, right, last year.
Yep.
So was he had the right information to begin with? Cannot say for sure. Did he have, a sneaking suspicion and just say he said it? That's more likely. But I don't know. I feel bad for the guy because, he has predicted a couple transfers correctly now. The biggest one obviously being Ronaldo. He was, the first, at least one of the first to start that, and everyone kind of called him crazy or insane when that happened. And then, then obviously the Pep Guardiola there was a pre-contract agreement, there was an oral agreement, whatever that ended up being. And then obviously, as we know, that never came into fruition. But I don't know, I kind of just feel bad for the guy because like everyone kind of just shits on him now, but I don't think his news is any worse than Tutto Sports. But yeah.
No. And I think it's all around, like Guido Vasiago, same thing. I mean, he tried to spin that bullshit Dybala stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, now it seems like I don't know if you've been seeing, but now the wheels are turning again. The train was stopped momentarily, but now we got the wheels moving again. So I don't know. I think, to me, what pisses me off is, and I don't know the guy personally, I just see what he either posts or the interviews he does or the videos he does with, Juventus and stuff like that. Yeah. I know obviously Marco's been on it as well from IFTV. And shout out, come on the show, Marco. Come on, I want to interview and want all your thoughts on this. Let's get her done. But
no hate, Marco, no hate.
But to me, it's like it's too easy to just throw shit in the. And I mean, there's insiders, there's assistants who are talking.
Yeah.
You know, who knows who's saying it? A trainer says something. You
Yeah.
know, player, an agent, maybe someone wants to, fish throw something into the air to make a story.
Yeah.
I don't know, but at the end of the day, to get the defense he does with this Guardiola thing, it's like you can't have it both ways.
Mhm.
And I get it. He was first on Ronaldo. I mean, good, but that's what journalism, you look at the CNNs of the world, you look at the MSNBCs, even the Fox on the conservative side. Um, it's all just this shit of like get it out first,
Yeah.
whether it's right and like
Fact check later.
Morgan Freeman, I mean Checo Bear's channel, Juventissimo. He loves the '90s. He's a genius. The guy knows he knows his shit. I wish he was there to help me on some of those questions on the Juve quiz.
Yeah.
But guys, it's literally perfect. And I've heard this obviously in terms of the political context and societal context of that video that he talks about, sorry, not Morgan Freeman. What's his name? Oh my God. Denzel Washington. Sorry, Denzel. That's a huge fuck up on my part. But anyways, Denzel goes, you guys just do this to get it over first. You don't care if it's right.
Yeah.
Facts. You just shoot it out, and it's literally the perfect video about society nowadays, and it's crept into culture. It creeps into everything. And literally, and I'm pretty sure Morgan Freeman said something about the media as well, but not necessarily to that extent. But it's literally, guys, like, why does it need to be? Just get it out. But I mean, now people are getting paid a certain way for clicks, and that's the problem you get. So I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, you've had some beef with Fabrizio Romano, so I want to get your take on him. For me, I think he's not necessarily the quickest, a little bit more accurate. We've had a lot of people have been shitting on DiMarzio because he hasn't really been hitting. But I mean, guys, these are transfer rumors.
Yeah.
The accuracy is going to be difficult all the time. So for me, it's when they announce. That's all I give a shit about. Yeah. When they give the guy the jersey or when they sign the contract. That to me is all I give a flying fuck about. So
if you've been following Juve, for a couple years, I'm sure you've known about the Draxler situation and stuff like
exactly. Draxler, Witzel,
yeah,
Pogba, who else? You can name so many, but I mean, it is what it is. Let's get your thoughts on Romano, and then we'll get into some of the others.
I don't know. That's kind of like a recent thing I've kind of noticed with him. I don't know. For me, Romano, regardless, is always the gold standard for transfer news. But I think a lot of people forget to understand or maybe ignore with the excitement that comes with the Mercato and just in general that it's still nothing's 100%. And I think that expecting reporters, because once again, they're reporters, they're not working for the club, but they have insiders, obviously, are never going to get everything 100% right. And I don't think it's fair to hold them to that standard. But on the same token, I think Romano, kind of is more disappointing that someone who's a fellow countryman with me being Italian is that he's kind of focusing all his attention now on the Premier League. And I know it's a bigger market. I know there's more money. I know there's more followers. I know there's more likes. I know there's more comments. There's more everything with the Premier League. But that has also kind of made me feel there's a bit of neglect towards the Italian transfers. And maybe that's because, a lot of Italian teams don't do the sensational moves that the Premier League does or the big game tickets. But I think just Romano, in regards to Juventus, I don't think he should be the number one Juventus reporter. I think obviously for me, it's still Romeo who should be number one. And I think maybe you should take what Romano says with a grain of salt because he's not following Juve as closely as some of these other reporters are. But then again, I still think he's reliable. So I don't know. It kind of pisses me off that, I want Juve to sign Aouar more than I want a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
So, and he was asked for weeks kind of what was going on that front before kind of nonchalant, just kind of saying nothing happening. That's it. No details in a reply to somebody. I've seen Ahmed and Andrew and all the boys kind of commenting, asking him questions, Juve news, Juve news, Juve news for the past 2-3 weeks. And I've only seen really one response, and that was on the Aouar front about, haven't heard anything or whatever he said, nothing yet, whatever, right? it's so just, I just feel kind of more neglected from him. So I don't know, but I don't, he's still the gold standard for him, and no hate towards him. He seems like a cool guy, cool job, obviously, but again, just kind of sucks. And I don't think maybe his Juve is 100% accurate or up to date, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily agree or disagree on that. Like I said, because most of the time I'm not really focusing on any of these guys. When I like to place the news out there,
Yeah.
you guys take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to tell you whether it's good or not. I think if it's going to happen or not, to me, it's just to relay what is being said.
Yeah.
And like I said, with a nice edit, so it makes it look a little bit nicer. But for me, I don't know, man. I think these guys all have their flaws.
Hmm.
Media is a business, and that really, I think, changes everything.
Yeah.
But I thought you were gonna say the number one journalist and your most reliable was Tancredi Palmieri.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Did you see that video of him screaming in this?
Man, when that guy's gifs flow, they fly. Like literally. Oh man, the guy's just a walking, talking GIF,
Yeah,
and
that's what got me in trouble with the IFTV thing because I tweeted the video or whatever it was of him at the stadium screaming. That's what.
yes, that's right. That is right.
Oh, bro,
Oh God.
anyone can take him seriously. Like he just looks greasy. He's a clown. If you want the clown award, if you want to present that, I think it should go to him.
Just some of the stuff he said about women too, in the like. I don't know if any of how versed people are with this guy, but like, yeah, I mean, he seems like. I mean, again, I've never met the guy, so I don't want to pass too much
Yeah,
judgment. But like, just from the stuff that he said, is just
it's crazy, bro. It's so crazy.
espresso. It's not espresso. It's espresso.
Yeah.
Like just the fucking like. I swear, like
Oh my God.
the content the people get of this guy, it's just like I said, it writes itself. It
Yeah.
really does. You
If
don't
you
have to
don't
put
know.
you don't have to put that much effort into it with this guy, which is kind of nice.
That's true.
But because sometimes you got to work a little bit to get some ideas flowing. But like, yeah, no, there's it's a bottomless pit of memes, gifs,
That's funny.
videos, clips, everything of this guy. But yeah, I mean, what did he say? He was saying something recently about like 60. They had some. Who was it that deserved to win because they had like 70% possession or something like that against like I think was it Napoli who played Liverpool?
I think so. Yeah.
He was like freaking out about like fucking ball possession. It's like,
Yeah.
dude,
Is he a
come
Napoli
on.
fan? Who is
No, I think he's from Rome.
he?
If I'm correct, yeah.
Then
You
he's my
see,
paisan then.
well, he's all of our paisans. And that's why, yeah, no, I mean, I have love for the Rome teams. I'm not going to lie. You'll probably see wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Me too.
Them
I'm a closeted
feature,
Roma fan.
yeah, they'll feature on the video where we talk about brands. And
Uh-huh.
I think in terms of,
Best
that,
Italian youngster Zaniolo just shouting that out. Sorry, continue.
yeah, I mean, that's the Italian national team with jerseys. Yeah, that's going to be.
That's what I'm
That's the
trying.
next big decision. As
Yeah.
funny as that sounds to say, like there's no Nazionale with Juventus anymore.
Bad.
Especially since Chiellini. I mean, who knows how long Chiellini's gonna play? That's really kind of the guy I've been sticking with.
Yeah.
And Barzagli have added a couple of those in the past, and Buffon obviously. And now that kind of run's gone its course, that's kind of all I have to say. So guys, stay tuned for that. We're gonna have whenever this financials drops, we're gonna be the ones to cover it in depth. And I'll have some special guests. Then we're gonna kind of get into what really makes a transfer, with also some very special guests that I find very very interesting to listen to, very intelligent, very into it, in tuned, even keeled, I would say. And then again, lots of new guests I would love to have. Hopefully to have some bigger names, some smaller names, some people that we've never heard of, some people from the east, west, north, south. Maybe we can get some from the North Pole, from the South Pole. There's a lot of fans in Nepal, which is crazy. And by a lot, I'm not talking like millions, but for that area, it was quite interesting to see the location on some people's mastheads on their Twitter accounts. So that's pretty crazy, guys. I got to shout out you guys for the support you do for the club, especially being that far away and being that remote.
A lot of Inter and Juve fans too, I've noticed, and those guys are crazy.
Exactly.
They watch
for sure
Champions League at 3 a.m. in the morning, and like that goes back again to like them being in like a third world country, obviously, and being, or not, I don't know if you want to classify a third world country, but underdeveloped nation, right? To put it a little better, but just the dedication the fans like that have, like they stay up at 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. to watch a match of Champions League or just the league, whatever, and then they go to work at 7 a.m. It's absolutely insane. Like I don't know how they do that or how they function. Maybe they sleep as soon as they get home from work. I don't know, but that's just level of dedication. It's crazy.
Farah was telling me the same from Singapore. Same thing. She's like, yeah, we just get used to it. I'm like, I don't know if I can get used to that. Like literally, that's the graveyard shift.
8 hours, and then like you gotta commute your hour back in most places. At least for me,
You have one of those games on like a regular game at 12:45 or a 1 o'clock on a Sunday. You're going into your next day on Monday just gassed.
Exactly, bro. It's crazy, and they got to get up and go to work after because most of them still have jobs. A lot of them are so like physically intensive jobs too. So it's crazy.
So true, so true. But yeah, we have lots, man. We have lots in the works.
I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Stay tuned. Like I said, we're definitely gonna have you on more than once. We're gonna have everyone on who wants to be on. And I think Al did a pretty smart thing and started booking. So I think I got to get on my horse. And since the schedule's out, start booking some fans for pre-matches, post-games. There's going to be a lot more time and maneuverability because the season is not going to be as compact as it was in the last month or 2-3 months. So definitely should be easier for me. Let's get that rolling. Guys, if you want to, guys and girls, excuse me, Juventinita, they should definitely come on the show.
Have you had one on yet?
Yeah, yeah, I've had a few. Come on, man. Are you telling me you're not following?
Of course I'm following. I don't know.
I'm just busting your balls, man. But no, we've had some ladies on the show, and I appreciate it. Some of the time conflicts haven't worked for others, but we're gonna get that. Rose, we're gonna have you on. We're definitely gonna have you on. Don't be shy. We can do the same setup as we have right here, and we'll just talk Juve. Let's have fun.
Sure.
So, guys and girls, there's lots to come. Maybe we're gonna do some Mazzurri talk because I know Nations League is gonna be starting up.
Yes, bro.
And work into Euro 2020/1.
Yeah.
So lots ahead. Season previews coming up.
Excited for that.
And guys, just stay tuned. Again, please follow on all the platforms. YouTube, give me a 5-star on iTunes if that's where you listen. It really helps me, and it just brings more visibility. That's all that really does. It doesn't bring any financial gain or anything like that. It's just more people can listen to the show, and hopefully that means we can bring on some more interesting guests. I know certain people are connected with some journalists that I'd like to have on. Obviously, I'd really like to have Maurizio on to cap off the one series that I've started, and as well as my other two friends that I've met because of the same situation as the story with Farah. So we're gonna host a Juve museum. We're going to possibly, like you said, Anto, bring up jersey collections. Yeah, I think that could be great. So I agree with you on that one. So lots of content coming, guys. Thank you for listening to this. I know a lot of it might seem harsh or critical. Take with it what you will. Again, I'm not trying to form sides, as someone suggested.
Nah, bro, it's all love. It's all love.
Take the information. If you still want to follow me, that's amazing. If you want to follow him, her, anyone else that I get into it with, that's awesome. You do your thing. I'm just trying to bring light to something that I thought was unfair. And again, like I said, slate is clean from this issue. Now we get back to Juve. And again, Anto, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Dedicating your time to this. I know it's been a long podcast now, and you're on the East, so it's getting late there. But guys, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao, guys.
See you later. Thank you for having me.